And we're live. We're Lou.
Are we? What's that?
We are live.
Oh.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Call of the Abyss. We have our storyteller. Wait, no. I'm supposed to do the intro first. I'm playing a Scarlet Leon, Rena, the Overlord, followed by Mike.
Yep. Hey, Mike, playing Mordecai.
Steve.
Hey, I'm Steve, the storyteller for Vancouver by Night. You'll see me in the chat. I am playing Damo, the Bruja.
My name is Bully, and I'm playing Toledo, the Banu Hakim.
And I'm Louis. I'll be your storyteller this evening. And yeah, we're here to tell a story about the Call of the Abyss, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. So, yeah, welcome, guys, to our chronicle. This episode. I think this is our second episode. But yeah, let's start off with a quick recap. In last session, there was actually a lot going on, but it was only the beginning of the story. We started off with all four of our supposed coterie members, soon to be, coming together at Elysium to find out that there's things going on in the city, fledglings and neonates attending various schools. There's actually two, the University of Chicago as well as the Stuart Freeman Academy. From there, they met a colorful cast of NPCs, the actual kindred of Chicago. But all in all, eventually, Elysium started after a bit of a tussle, some having difficulties speaking with their primogen, while others had actual difficulties feeding at Elysium. That's definitely not gonna bite them in the butt later. But in any case, Elysium began, and our coterie was introduced to the Chicago kindred. After their brief introduction, our dear Toledo, our Banu Hakim, noticed a young individual by the name of Colin Watts, whom he had previously interacted with, leave Elysium in a panicked hurry. He chased after him, and our other cast members chased after as well. And eventually, they ended up on top of a large high-rise condominium, on the rooftop of it, where they saw two obfuscated individuals as well as Colin off the edge. Our story ended, or that episode ended rather, with Colin being pushed off the rooftop and our coterie members in a bit of a precarious situation.
F in the chat for Colin.
F in the chat. But before we start tonight's episode, why don't we paint a pretty picture of what's going on at Elysium at the moment. The scene begins as the camera opens up, peeling through the maroon curtains, giving way for the bright ambient light to greet us with quite a view from backstage. At the very center of the platform is a tall, very astute-looking African-American male who stands very confidently in front of a large audience, quietly listening to his every word. He wears a thick and lavish black fur coat that nicely complements the three-piece black suit underneath. As he outstretches his arms and addresses the current situation of the city, we see the group of listeners' eyes glisten with looks of admiration as well as maybe mocking enjoyment. We see the clans scattered around the front stage area from left to right, each having their own little groups and motifs as to why they're here in Elysium. Past the sea of colorful individuals, we see a 3-tier water fountain with a marble statue of a legendary angel on top, holding a sword pointed upwards towards the glass skylight above, while its stoic face watches the stream of water below peacefully. Further on in this room, we see the double doors swinging gently as not a few minutes ago, a few of our kindred had just left this meeting hall in a hurry. Now that we have all agreed to leave the Western District alone, as per the request of our dear Gangrel Primogen, let's go wash away your worries about these clan lists you all so adamantly bring up every goddamn time. Though other major cities and princes in the country may ban them from stay or whatever business they have, I will not be a tyrant like my late sire Lodin. In fact, they are welcome in the city as long as they follow the proper procedures and given the righteous Camarilla education that all of you deserve. Now, that's not to say I would give them leniency shall they fail to uphold our traditions. Should these clanless and thin-blooded kindred fail to abide by the Camarilla standards, I personally will have them removed from their miserable lives. You see Kevin Jackson with his serious tone. Thanks to Miss Stewart, most of these youngins are undergoing their study, and I can proudly say that this system is going to and will work for the coming generations. I assure each and every one of you, once again, that these fledglings, sireless or not, have a place in our society, and that these duskborne, as per the old books, will not be a major problem. And as those words ring out of Kevin Jackson's mouth, we hear the thunderous crash of glass and debris as a bit of haze from the dust settles within the meeting hall. As concerned eyes turn toward where the crash came from, we, as the audience, see a bloodied up individual, his skin pale, his face full of dread, and his twitchy dark brown eyes quickly losing light by the second. The camera begins to pan out from his face as we follow the trickles of blood oozing from his mouth down to his now punctured chest. We see the marble sword that is pierced through the body, grotesquely covered with red liquid and bits of his innards. And that red liquid is now slowly crawling downwards through the hilt, down the arms and legs, and eventually making its way to intertwine with the clear water below. As Vitae seeps through the water, quickly changing the clarity, we see the fountain now produce a lovely color of light crimson, all due to the now impaled body of Colin Watts. We'll follow the camera upwards now as we zoom past the 40 stories and land upon our coterie members, soon to be coterie members. Just as a reminder, all 4 of you are now on the rooftop. 2 of you, Mordecai and Scarlet, are positioned at the very entrance of the rooftop building, or the rooftop staircase. And the other 2 of you, one is obfuscated, I believe Toledo is, and Dom is right in front of a red cloaked individual with a jester mask, and the Malkavian by the name of Michael Strums. It is the top of the turn. Why don't we start with Scarlet? What do you do in this moment? You saw Colin just get pushed off the roof, and this maddened Malkavian, his eyes are going wild as his eyes dart left and right. There is a crazy lunacy about him that all of you can tell. What do you do?
This is not my problem. I am walking away from the scene.
Just turn on your heels and walk out?
I'm running away. I'm gonna try to run away, yes.
Okay, well, you just turn on your heels and walk out of the exit. I don't need any rolls for that. If you're just gonna run. Okay.
I expect like Mordecai is behind me, so I'm just like trying to push past him. Like, yeah, I need to leave.
Mordecai, in the matter of a few seconds, you see Scarlet turn on her heels and pretty much say those words as she begins to shift out of the rooftop into the staircase. What do you do?
I'm in so much trouble.
So I see her coming. And I see the Malkavian and some other dude who just pushed Colin off the building. They're sort of on the edge of the building. She's like noping out and coming towards me and the stairwell. Is anybody else looking in my direction?
Not from what you can tell, but
Okay, so they're the other two are these guys are focusing on
Dom.
Okay. I'm just trying to open it up. What does entrancement do?
I believe
Does it
it
stop
focuses...
somebody from moving?
Doesn't necessarily stop them from moving.
Don't they move towards you in your direction?
If you're close enough to them, yes. Basically, they are pulled towards your direction and they want to be around you as well as please you in all sorts of manners, but you have to be
they fall
close to
head
them.
over heels in love.
Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? So she's coming towards me. Where are you going?
Away from this mess?
You think it's any safer out there?
But it is safer in the Elysium with my group. That Bruja told me that he will bring me back to my group and I ended up here. And that person just pushed off Colin. I'm leaving. This is not my problem.
Hold on a second. And I'm in transfer.
Right, let's see those rolls. I think that is your charisma and your discipline against her
composure and wits.
Wits and composure. Okay, let's see those rolls.
And I'm
The bastard.
That's 3 successes for Scarlet. Let's see. With 4, is that a crit? That is a crit. With 6 successes. How do you do this, Mordecai? How do you paint us a pretty picture of how you entrance Scarlet?
not even anything overt or anything. Just sort of, switch my cane to the other hand. And sort of, I'm stepping aside so that the door is on my right, and she's sort of just walking by, and we're sort of having this conversation, and she's just like noping out. And I just sort of reach out my hand. Stay a while. This might interest you.
Okay.
And just lock eyes.
Because that is a margin of 3 successes. Scarlet, you just feel absolute awe in this moment. You can feel that this individual in front of you is worthy of your time. He is valuable. Maybe you're not worthy of him, but he is now giving you a bit of leeway in this moment. He wants you to stay, and your heart tells you that this is the right thing to do. You feel it. You just want to be around him in this moment. But we'll pause the scene there. I believe, Dom, it's your turn.
Get him.
I just did the soaring leap to try to grab Colin, right?
Mm-hmm. And your momentum was cut off as this red-cloaked individual pulled out a black long sword out of his cloak as he slashed in your direction, and you narrowly dodged it. It did break your momentum, though. So Colin has been pushed off, and you are off the side, halfway through the rooftop itself, while this red-cloaked individual is in front of you, his sword pointed your direction.
All right. So I'm kind of in a crouch, and I'm going to activate prowess if I haven't already. And I'm going to basically have him follow Colin because I'm just going to uppercut him over the side of the building if I can.
Okay. Let's see that rouse check. And let's see a strength and brawl roll, please. Well, I
So
roll
rouse.
for this individual.
I think that's 10. I don't know. So brawl and strength.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, let's see this individual. He does have a chance. That is a tie, but ties do go to the player. So, Dom, as you just rear back and uppercut this dude, he simply just, he wants to avoid it, but with your celerity as well as your strength, your athletics, you were able to punch him right in the gut. But as you guys tied, you don't do too much damage. But what's your potence level?
4.
4. Okay, so he takes 4. Okay, he takes 2 superficial damage from that. Okay, he lurches back a little bit, but you can't see his face. You can't see if he experienced any pain or not, but his red eyes flash in this moment as he rears back with his sword. Toledo, you see this all happen. What do you do? I think you're still obfuscated.
Remaining obfuscated. I'm probably right at the edge of the building, just missing Colin. Looking down for a moment, watching his body go and crash through. Simply just produce a small knife from my side. Cut my arm right at the elbow, the joint. And then let my arm sort of drop, let the blood flow, and will the blood to forge a blade. I'll use the very special one with the blade that we've worked on.
Summons El Cid in this moment. We see the biting drip from his arm, and as the hilt forms in his hand, it's almost unnatural. But to you, Toledo, you've practiced this many, many times over the years, and you pull out this blade from your wrist, made out of vitae, as it materializes into the long sword. Well, is it a long sword or is it a short sword of a blade? You call El Cid.
It would be shorter. Something more suited for assassination types.
Okay. You have an action. What do you do in this moment? The crazy Malkavian is not faced towards you. He seems to be just laughing maniacally in this moment after he spewed those words and pushed off Colin. He even looks around as he looks at his eyes. There's dark bags under it, and you can tell that there's definitely something wrong with him.
Well, for this turn, I would essentially spend the turn looking at the crime that these two committed, willing the blade, coating it with some of my own vitae for some of that special venom, and focusing on that, preparing for the hunt, and saying a silent prayer to myself, getting ready to do what I must do, not even looking over at them yet, just focusing everything on this ritual, as I'll need to take a turn to do that first.
We see Toledo just off the edge, perhaps obfuscated, but to our eyes as the audience, we see him close his eyes for a moment as he wills the blade, as he coats it with his own blood, poisonous and whatnot, and he prays to whoever he is, whoever he believes in, getting ready for his hunt, per se. Back to the top of the turn. Scarlet, you've just been entranced, and Mordecai's willed you to stay here. What do you do?
I'm just
And try
saying.
to resist it, but he did crit.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's interesting here, but I'll just stay with Mordecai for a bit. Like, go near him and just, like, put a hand around his arm. And go, like, so what is exactly happening here?
I don't know. We're gonna find out, though.
And
What can you do?
I can talk. I'm not a fighter. So, yeah, no.
Can you we would have basic idea of what the clan disciplines are for clans.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're all in Scylla, so
Except for me. I don't know anything about your clan.
both of you go ahead and roll your wits and awareness, please.
Wits and awareness is taking a drink early.
What the
Ooh,
fuck is with
okay,
this
is
roll?
that a crit? All right, with 2 successes, Scarlet, you hear a commotion going on, perhaps outside by the roof. Perhaps in the square itself. Mordecai, with your 5 successes, not only do you hear screaming and a shrill kind of voice, wailing out from a distance, but you also hear footsteps from the bottom of the stairwell. It echoes through the chamber itself of this emergency exit, and you know that perhaps people are coming in this direction. You don't know if they're kindred or,
Gentlemen, take one of them alive. We're going to have guests. And if I can do something else?
Sure, yeah, you still have an action.
I'm trying to remember. Does awe doesn't, it just basically just stops them. Just basically gets their attention. It's not a huge.
Mm-hmm. Makes you supernaturally attractive. So, one of you is already supernaturally attracted to you. You want to make them more obsessed with you?
No.
You can.
No. I'm going to try to entrance. If it's playing with fire, entrancing the Malkavian. Yeah, do that.
So,
if anything else, hopefully it'll distract him.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're gonna move towards the combat scene itself, leaving the stairwell behind you. Scarlet is by your arm, so you're literally just taking her with you then.
Basically, yeah. Just sort of walk over to one side.
Okay. As you move towards that direction, you have to cross a bit of the distance, so we'll take that as your main action for now,
Sure.
as there's about 50, maybe something along those lines meters out, and it's unless you sprint in that direction, which would probably scare them off. But okay, we'll take that as your action for now. Dom, it's your turn.
Did he basically, when I hit him in the gut, did he kind of keel over a little bit? No.
He hunched over a little bit, but with his athletics, he can basically maneuver as well as you.
Right. I'm gonna keep the sword kind of back with my forearm, kind of on his arm, and I'm gonna reach around behind his neck and I'm gonna knee him in the gut.
Okay, let's see that strength and brawl once again.
Brawl.
Well, is that a crit? With 4 successes. Okay, let's see him try to dodge. Oh, that is a crit for him as this individual. As you reach over to him, kind of lunging forth, you try to grab him by the arms, but with his 8 successes on a crit, he maneuvers in such a way that he is almost like he's dancing around with you, toying around with you in this moment as he swings his sword around. He's not trying to attack you or anything, but he simply moves out in the right direction, and he is now he's now by your side, adjacent to you, in between you and Mordecai in this moment.
Punch a hole through this motherfucker, I swear to God.
Yeah, he's getting really lucky. All right, Toledo, it is now your turn.
Who's the one who actually pushed him off the roof? I don't remember.
It was Michael Strums, this Malkavian with the curly hair and crazed look.
That's the one not in combat right now. So.
This dude is simply laughing around, jumping up and down as if he is celebrating. You even hear him say a few words. I did it. I did it. I did it. Worthy
Going
sacrifice.
to will my blood to just get a little bit closer to the ultimate hunter, Hakim himself, using a little blood of potency as I go in for a strike.
Okay. Let's, ooh. What hunger are you at, Toledo?
4 now.
Okay. Someone starts bleeding, you are going to have to make a frenzy check. Okay, and let's see that. If you're going to stab him, go ahead and roll that dex and melee. And since this is a sneak attack, as you break your obfuscate, you can add a +2.
Do I risk it? Yeah, I can't get more hungry. I'm gonna rouse the blood on this too, or blood surge on this. No way I get more hungry, right?
Okay, all right.
Oh, thank God I did.
No.
Okay.
Definitely
There's no way
not.
you could. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go
Okay.
wrong?
So at that potency, I
Under
get
Hakim at
+2 for
5
the
hunger.
obfuscate.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get blood surge. Will add 3 to that.
Let's see it.
This is my specialty. Oh, this is gonna be stupid actually.
You're at a +5? Oh my god, you're gonna one
Well,
shot
and then
this
one
dude
with the blade gives me a +2, correct?
and murder this Malkavian.
That's what he really, really wants to do. 2 dice bonus, we just count. Yeah, okay. So let's see. I no longer trust the dice god, so all of that. All
Would you like
of
to
that.
reroll? You can reroll up to
You
3 dice.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Willpower the
willpower
shit out of
that.
that.
God, this
I mean,
game
5
hates.
successes is pretty good.
But it should be. I need more.
What do you
With
mean?
6 successes. This individual does not have any dice to roll against you, as he doesn't know you're there. So go ahead and describe how you try to. Are you gonna one-shot him? How you try to kill him as you break out of the cloak?
Yeah. So, sort of saying to myself a little bit that just the name of Cain, Camarilla, the children of the hunt, I judge you guilty of crimes against the blood. For your sins, you'll pay with your own wicked vitae. That's right, when I come out of obfuscate, probably just underneath the chin with just the blade up my arm, and this puncture him just straight up under the jaw through the top of the skull if possible. Just one swift, well-practiced maneuver that Toledo has done many a time before, and just hold it there, making sure the last thing he sees is me right in front of him, and he understands he's being punished for something he did.
Okay, so that is 6 successes on. How much does your sword do? I think that's a +3, so that's 6, 9, half rounded up. So he takes 5 superficial damage from the. Holy crap! He's at aggravated damage.
Then I also would do Scorpion's Touch as his occult and stamina versus my.
Wiggle it around a little bit.
Oh no! No.
How much damage? It does automatic aggravated damage, right?
It does non-half. It does aggravated to mortals. It does non-half superficial to other kindred. So
Non-half.
his stamina and occult. Versus
Okay.
my
Stamina and occult. Let's see. He's not gonna make it. This dude's gonna die. Let's see that roll for him. He doesn't know what's coming, but let's get this rolls out of the way first. 3 successes. Okay. Oh, this guy's in bad shape.
This.
That's a crit.
And that difference is not half superficial.
This dude is looking
Oh,
really bad.
no.
Like he's like 2 health away from dying or being in torpor. But okay, here's what happens. As Toledo breaks out of Obfuscate, he says this prayer. He judges those who have sinned against him, as well as the Camarilla. He pulls out this blade, this magical, this amazing sword of his, El Cid, as he plunges his right underneath this man's head, or this boy's head. We see a disgusting, as we see more blood kind of ooze out of his mouth, and his eye sockets kind of widen in this moment as he realizes what the fuck just happened. As he stands there a little paralyzed, he seizes a little bit as blood begins to ooze out of his nostrils as well as eyes. He seems to be crying in this moment, Toledo. But as you do this, he takes his hands and he grabs you by the arm, and he tries to show you something. In this moment, Toledo, the world around you fades away. It is complete and utter darkness. You find yourself standing in the middle of the same apartment building, the same condominium high-rise building. But around you is nothing but black mist and fog, whatever. You walk around the rooftop. There's no one next to you. There's no one here. There's no signs of life. And as you peer through, just over the edge of the rooftop, you see right under you, on the ground, below, black ichor, pulsating. It just seems to be reverberating, dancing around. And it's not just the immediate square in front of you, below. You look around some more and you see that this black oozing liquid is everywhere, all adjacent to this building, as they all start crawling up the building itself, reaching your direction quickly. I'm curious, what is Toledo doing in this moment as he realizes that this black ichor is now oozing up towards your direction, encompassing the building?
He would be, just taking a moment, really peering at it, and then immediately backing up. Does he still have a sword in this?
In this moment, you have no weapons on you for some reason.
That doesn't seem right either. So all he would be doing is backing up and just trying to will a sword, a blade, anything, desperately trying to find something to defend himself with.
As you try to do this, perhaps in desperation, you would hear a cackling laughter. You can't tell if it's male or female, it's just laughter. You can't tell if it's just from one individual or many voices, but it just feels wrong in this moment as more of these black crawling liquid make their way on top of where the rooftop is, as they begin to coagulate and form this black tower that you are now on top of. And as the cackling grows louder, more intense, you are snapped back to reality as this individual, this Malkavian, smiles at you maniacally as he says, "You will die." You take off that dagger, and he falls to the ground. The disgusting thud, blood just oozing out of his very body. Okay, top of the turn. Scarlet.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Scarlet and Mordecai, actually, you guys are now... You just witnessed this in front of you. This man just murdered someone. He just shoved a knife or a blade up this man's throat.
Yeah, we're not keeping that one.
I need to... This is too much for me. What the hell?
Turn to her. Stay. And am I close enough to the other, like, the black sword guy?
The black sword guy is perhaps on the right hand
said-
side.
You said
and you guys
he was
walk up to
between
the
me
center.
and Domhnall?
Oh, yeah. But
Okay.
he's on the right hand side of things. You guys are by the edge now.
How close is he to me?
You can take your movement there, and if you want to do a sneak attack,
Okay.
you can.
I'm going to entrance him.
Okay. Let's see.
Or I'm going to try.
Well, he's
Can
not
I-
looking at you, per se. He's in the
Doesn't
middle of
have to be.
combat with Mike. With
Doesn't
Dom.
have to be looking at me. It's presence.
Yeah, sure. You can roll it though.
The can I guess I can't rouse I can't pump blood into it to make it a better roll, or
You
can I?
can. You can always rouse the blood every turn to
Okay.
increase your dice pool by 2, I believe, or 3.
I'm gonna do that.
2.
I don't know
at
what
our
is-
level.
2. Okay, 2 for your blood potency. I keep
Mine was
forgetting.
3 because I did the blood potency raise thing.
Yeah, because they just changed that in the new rules.
Mhm.
Success. I got a crit on my rouse check. I don't know what that means.
Can I try to get
Pass.
out of this entrancement?
With some composure. Your difficulty is 6.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
Nice.
Well, that's a 5. That's a messy crit as well. If you get one more success there, you break out of his entrancement. So if you want to willpower this, you can. You can roll up to 2 dice.
Okay. This is
No?
this
Up to you.
Fight it! Fight it!
I'm fighting the fucking
Ah!
That sucks.
what I just staying here
With,
all
with
this mess and the
because-
people dying.
because of your messy crit, though, you kind of grip harder against Mordecai as you tug him away. As he tries to walk away from you, you just feel obsessed with him. This growing addiction towards him is just... You interrupt the way his movement, his body moves, and you kind of just pull him towards you, and you kind of just want to hug him in this moment, or like be more intimate with him. Mordecai, you feel this as well. She stops you as you start walking away, and you
Yes,
realize
yes,
that perhaps this
later.
entrancement is working a little too well for her.
Later. So I reach out and I basically try to get sword guy's attention and drop my entrancement on him. I had one success, a crit success on my rouse check. I don't know if that helps anything.
Okay. Well, let's see your charisma and your discipline roll, please.
That. So
Okay, 4
3
successes.
crit, so 4.
Okay. Dom, it's your turn. We'll resolve that in a moment. As Dom, Mordecai, and Scarlet are now by this dude, and you are still in the middle of combat. What do you do?
Yeah, I kind of want to wait until his is resolved, because if he's distracted, I kind of want to take advantage of that.
Okay. All right. So here is what happens. As you entrance him, you will the blood to unleash this unnatural presence against this individual, Mordecai. This red-cloaked kindred turns towards your direction. His eyes flash once again underneath that white mask. But something happens in this moment. All
Uh-oh.
4 of you notice the shadows start pooling around him. Underneath that mask, you can almost tell that he is smiling. It's almost as if he planned for this. As those red eyes flash, once again, the shadows encapsulate him. And in a moment, he is gone. Shadows seem to have pooled in that corner, in that area. And he stepped out of existence, leaving the 4 of you there. As the emergency exit slams open, and you see none other than the sheriff himself, Damien, followed by 2 hounds, Alexa and a Nosferatu, Wanaka.
Oh no.
What do the four of you do now that combat is over? Reminder that Michael is literally on the ground right now, bleeding out. He doesn't seem to be in torpor. He's still squirming around, but he can't necessarily talk as his throat has been like slashed apart.
Oh,
So-
we got one.
What do the four of you do as Damien looms over this body? He crosses his arms and looks at the four of you suspiciously.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm
Toledo at this point, because of his hunger and his flaw,
Oh,
just have open wounds on his forehead and palms of his hands, just dripping blood everywhere at this point as he's standing over this mess.
you have stigmata? Oh god. Let's see that frenzy roll, please. Hunger frenzy.
This is fine.
This is like a what's the word? What's the saying? A
don't.
train wreck.
Please don't.
Nothing
I-
bad can happen when a Banu Hakim hunger frenzies.
I'm not
that is
gonna
weird.
stop the Banu Hakim. That's the sheriff's problem.
Scarlet, you were still obsessed with Mordecai, by the way, so you just kind of pull him closer and closer in this moment. Oh god. I think the difficulty is at 3, right? Is it 2 or 3? I can't remember. I think it's at 3. Okay, Toledo. You're in a hunger frenzy. You see blood oozing out of your wrists, your forehead, your ankles.
Wait.
There's also blood all over, like readily available for you on the ground right now as Michael is squirming and kind of moving around, trying to get away from all of you on his fours, but he seems to be very incapacitated at the moment. He's not getting very far.
Would be, sorry, I just pulled up the chart. So difficulty 2, it's side of an open wound or overpowering smell of blood will at hunger
Oh.
4. Difficulty
that
3,
2?
if I taste blood will at hunger 4 or higher.
Okay, that's good then. All right, so yeah.
But
you're
if
not
you
in a
want
hunger
it to
frenzy.
be because I'm Banu and he's a kindred bleeding out that it's harder, I will gladly roll with that too.
No, I think it's very fitting at the moment. I think your feelings right now are a little mixed and conflicted. You don't want to eat this guy. I think you want to make sure that Collins is all right, but not exactly. It's up to you. But you are not in a hunger frenzy. I take that back. It's difficulty 2.
Okay, so just barely keeping it together. Looking down at this individual, glancing over at the sheriff and having just enough wherewithal to know that this is no longer my jurisdiction. I will sort of wipe some of the blood from my forehead that's getting in my eye, which doesn't really help because it's just smearing it more, and taking a step back and just pointing my blade at him. This is the one who who crashed your party down there. Tossed him clean off. I'll say to the sheriff.
He just shakes his head at the moment. You see this blonde-haired individual. She seems to be around 5'2", 5'3". She's rather small frame. She wears just a black crop top and really tight, skinny jeans and some boots. In one hand, she carries a blade as well, a small dagger of some sort, as she kind of twirls it around her fingers, playing around with it. And she simply says, "You guys fucked up. You guys crashed Elysium, and now you killed another kindred? You guys have a lot to answer for. And there's this wicked smile on her face.
First of all, dipshit, we didn't crash nothing. Secondly, what the hell took you so long?
And thirdly, you ain't dead. I can fix that. I would love to fix that.
Mostly dead.
I am
You see-
just draping myself at Mordecai, trying to.
What's wrong with her? A little too obsessed for this. Get a fucking room, Alexa says.
What's wrong with your face?
She just looks at you. There's something about her that's unnerving. The way she just looks. Her pale skin, her rather dead eyes. In this moment, I need you to roll a wits and insight. Because you're the only one who's really looking at. Who's just looking at. Meanwhile, Scarlet and Mordecai, you just what are you doing? You're just standing with Scarlet?
I'm trying to touch him, like trying to make him look at me.
Trying to shrug her off, or you're just simply just
I'm kind of used to this sort of behavior, so I just sort of kind of ignore it. Like,
Can
yes,
I try
yes.
to break out of this again?
Pat her on the head.
it's really up to him if he wants to release this entrancement.
I can actually just turn it off?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, turn it off.
Supernatural disciplines. Okay, so
Ugh.
the moment it is released, Scarlet, you feel weird as you feel that attraction that's built up for him simply vanish. And you feel
Sorry.
a little disgusted,
Oh,
Sorry.
realizing
They were coming upstairs. You running downstairs, you would have got your ass beat.
ah, ew, ew.
I'll teach you how to do this later.
Damien stands over Michael. And I guess he's looking at Toledo as well in this moment. I need to know what the hell happened here before I throw someone else off this goddamn roof. Dom, you don't notice anything with that insight roll, but there is just Alexa's unnerving. That's all.
Due respect, Sheriff. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't really feel like explaining that. You seem calmer than I. If you saw what happened, by all means.
Yes. Gather yourself.
I'm
Due
talking
respect,
about
Sheriff.
you. Why the fuck?
There were two
Scrums.
attackers and the young kindred that I assume you encountered down below. This individual and another with a harlequin mask who disappeared in a cloak of some kind of shadow.
Looks over at Alexa, and then the Nosferatu, who's wearing a hood and his tusks are overly large. It hangs over his mouth. They both shake their heads. From how I see it, it's the four of you the cause of this shit. And the prince ain't happy.
I'm hiding behind Mordecai.
Firstly, Prince ain't happy about much of anything. Secondly, you've got our word to go on, and you don't have anybody else's. You can test us and see if we're telling the truth. Personally, I wouldn't mind telling you to fuck off.
Tell the truth, you say.
Mr.
All right.
Sheriff.
The fuck you looking at, fledgling?
Sorry, I was.
Zip it.
Oh no, I'm gonna hide back behind Mordecai. How do you talk to
Oneka.
these people?
Get the goddamn body. Alexa,
Do
you know what to do.
N-
You four. The prince would like to see you.
Wouldn't mind getting my friend here something to eat first.
No time for that.
Do you have time for him frenzying in the Elysium?
If he frenzies, stakes welcome to his heart. Or rather, my fucking fist.
I'll be
He's a
alright.
charming fellow.
Yeah, he's a bit of an asshole.
Just a bit.
All right. So, Damon has now ordered all four of you to come along, and I assume you do, unless you decide to run away in this moment, causing more suspicion.
I'm coming.
I mean,
So you
tempting.
guys-
Push Scarlet down.
What?
Let's just toss Scarlet off the roof and then
Oh.
run away.
Very great idea, actually.
Do I have
Assholes.
I have my little my Bible, hollow out Bible, my kit. But it say would have at least a blood bag on me, since that's my preferred.
As mentioned,
Something to help calm things a little bit. I'm gonna, while we walk down, drain one of those.
I hate to be that guy, but would that work since you increased your blood potency?
Just for a scene.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, it probably worked.
Yeah, the potency doesn't last all night.
Never follow
Imagine.
a bruja into anything.
okay, we see.
Always follow the Bruja. Listen to Jason Carl. He's in the chat. He'll probably tell you to follow the Bruja.
No.
We see Toledo as you all kind of make your way down the steps. You see Toledo kind of wolf down a blood bag or two as he takes his hunger down to 3. You see the stigmata, or the blood oozing out of his temple as well as his wrists and his ankles kind of stop in this moment. But you are now covered in blood, Toledo. You are a walking masquerade reach. What do you do about this?
Napkin.
Red nap.
You have
What?
little too much
That didn't
blood
work.
on
Well, I get hungrier, but now I'm obfuscated and bleedy.
Okay. Oh god.
So I get my hunger down just enough to be able to use it to go invisible. But if someone were to see through my invisibility, looks like Carrie after prom. But yeah.
Okay. As the 4 of you make your way down the steps, you would
These
all
little
notice
bloody footprints.
there's bloody footprints as well as trickles of bloodlets just kind of everywhere as Toledo walks in front of behind all of you, but you still notice it. All of you can smell it. You guys are attuned to the scent of blood, so you guys would notice all the vitae that's been spilling out of Toledo in this moment, even though he's obfuscated. But regardless, you all make it back to Elysium. Toledo, if you'd like to grab your sister Isidora, she probably has some blood bags for you. You can go ahead and take your hunger down to 3 once again, unless you do something else that
Yes.
requires
please.
arousing
So
of
let's
blood.
just keep this roller coaster going.
But yeah, eventually all 4 of you make it back to Elysium. And as you step through the double door wooden kind of entrance, you would notice the very statue of Michael, one with the angel with a sword pointing upwards. You would notice that Colin is being removed from it. You see his dead body kind of just lingering there, lifeless. It's limp, and it's almost like a rag doll in this moment. His bones are probably broken from the crash and whatnot, and there is literally a large gaping hole through his chest as he is lifted off with disgusting, and he is placed gently on the ground, on the marble ground. You would notice the fountain is, well, it's seeped with, the water is seeped with vitae in this moment. Some people are pretty much just shied away from the scene, while Annabelle, namely, is there with a hand to her mouth, a finger to her mouth, as she smiles wickedly and she says, "I really think this is better. Yeah, it's so much better. What do you guys think?" And she gestures towards the other kindred around her, mostly Toreador, as they all kind of agree with her nonchalantly. But the 4 of you see this scene.
Toledo
Toledo will remove his hat in respect. And I guess to the group first, any of y'all know if Thin Bloods can survive something like that? I know one of us would be fine after a long, long nap. I don't know about him.
I don't know anything.
Well, yeah, I figured that.
Would I be able to do like an intelligence or an occult or something?
Sure.
See
If any of you would like to find out anything about this current situation, roll your intelligence in occult or intelligence in medicine.
And that's what he gets for being a smart ass.
You also see Naomi Stewart seemingly there, as well as Chester and Kathleen. They seem to be paying their respects to Colin. with one success, Toledo, you might know that they can survive the impact. Same goes for you, Mordecai, but Dom, not sure if you're affiliated with the Anarchs or you've affiliated yourself with them, but most Thin Bloods are of the Anarch sect. And from what you've encountered in your years of unlife, some of them have some sort of vampiric strength and resilience, while others seem more lifelike, more frail than other kindred, or other Thin Bloods, rather. They're maybe as strong as ghouls, maybe a little more, but in this current instance, he seems to be dead. As you look over his body, Colin's eyes kind of just linger on the ground. He's not moving at all, and there seems to be no movement from him.
And how many floors was it? It was like 40 or something like that?
40 plus floors. You look through the skylight, you see that most of the glass has been broken, as well as some of the roofing, the dome roofing, is now kind of like bent inwards, as perhaps the force kind of pushed it down a little bit as he went through it.
Yeah. And I look over to Mordecai, like, I've encountered some of these duskborne hanging with people I hang. He's fucked.
He doesn't look like he's getting up.
He's dead. Not torpor dead.
He ain't gonna be dancing anytime soon is basically what I'm saying. Or at all. Ever.
I'll to one of the people removing the body and doing all of that, I'll just say, what are you gonna do with him?
You see a ghoul. It is the bartender, actually, as he kind of, cleans his hands off with a handkerchief, wiping out all the blood. He looks to you and he says, "Burn it. It is the will of the prince."
I'll sort of mutter a quick prayer. Put my hand, just a very, very bloody hand on his forehead, closing my eyes for a second. You deserve better. And continue on.
I turn to Mordecai and ask, are we going to die like Colin?
That depends on how smart you are.
Oh. Shit.
And how good you are at keeping your head down.
You see some of the kindred shift around uncomfortably as Toledo puts his hand over Colin's eyes and forehead as he says a prayer. But some of the other kindred, namely those of the Stuart Freeman Academy, are paying close attention as Toledo does this, kneeling and, saying a little prayer to Colin's body. Miss Naomi Stewart stands up as she was kneeling, and she simply says, "You did deserve better, Mr. Toledo. The poor boy he experienced a lot in both his life and unlife. A lot of traumatic things.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Such is that's some people's lot here on our little slice of hell on earth. I'll assuming the prince doesn't lob my head off, I'll talk to you later about him.
Yes. I believe Miss Leanne can lead you to my domain, should you choose to work there."
That's awfully kind of her. Thank you.
She nods. She kind of ushers the rest of the duskborne out. They all kind of have these saddened look on expressions, and they are pretty much disturbed by this. Some of the other kindred, namely the Toreador and the Ventru, have prying eyes on the duskborne themselves. You can hear murmuring and whispering amongst themselves about duskborne and the prejudice that the Camarilla has against them, ruining Elysium for this particular instance. And you all could feel the awkward environment as they kind of walk away from the scene. I think the blood really does it, Annabelle continues. Ah, my favorite ministry. Come here, give me a warm hug.
Darling, you know you don't even have to ask.
She loops her hand around, or her arm around you, one of your arms. She notices Scarlet. Hey there, doll. I'm assuming you're involved in this little escapade.
Yes.
Well, how was the show?
It was very messy as I just look at Toledo.
She gives you a wicked smile as she turns to Toledo. Then her head whips back around at you as she says, Little flower, we have much to talk about. I'll see you sometime. And she kind of gestures for Mordecai to come along with her, leading you to the front stage area. It is in this moment that Waneka, the Nosferatu hound, you guys don't know he's a hound, but he is this overly large Nosferatu with large tusks hanging from his mouth. He approaches the three of you and he says,
The prince wants to see you. Follow.
and he points towards the front stage area.
Okay. It will be fine. It will be fine. Follow this strange Nosferatu.
Gigantic, ugly, angry person.
Dom and Toledo, do you guys follow as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So eventually, all four of you are led by Annabelle towards the front stage area. The prince isn't there though. You saw him last on top of the stage, perhaps making his speech and whatnot. But Annabelle then turns to all four of you as she says, "This is going to be a backstage issue. So if you just keep following me," as she kind of turns on her heels and walks towards the backstage. She peels away the curtain, the maroon curtain. As you guys walk to the back, you would notice that there is a room. There's a door there with there's a room that has no windows or any slots or anything that you can see through. But she knocks on it maybe once or twice. The door kind of just swings open. As the door swings open, she kind of stands to the side as she gestures for all four of you to get in. As you all get in, you notice that the room is rather large. It is an office sort of type of room. There is a large oak desk in the very back, and the prince is seated there in his plush kind of office chair. And he has two hands clasped, his elbows resting on the desk itself. And without a roll, you can tell that he's very upset. His forehead is kind of creased. There's a stern look in his eyes, and the atmosphere of this room itself is that of which you kind of walked into a lion's den, and he's just been waiting. I assume there are seats kind of in front of the desk itself, about 3 or 4.
Toledo will show respect, remove his hat, take a seat.
What do the 3 of you do? You guys just take a seat as well?
I follow whatever they're doing because I don't know any of the etiquette when it comes to seeing the prince.
Take a seat, kid.
Okay. Okay. I'm sitting beside Mordecai.
I guess I should take a seat then.
Prince is wordless in this moment as Annabelle shuts the door behind her, and she also, she takes this seat beside the prince, off to the side though, not in the, by him, but off to the side, and she simply watches in this moment. The prince takes his time. You can tell he's thinking in this moment, perhaps choosing the right words. He looks at all four of you one by one. He slows down his tapping with his finger. Let's hear it. And that's all he says.
I will look to Mordecai.
Yay, I'm the face. Due respect, my prince. Our associate, and gesture to Toledo, followed the thin blood.
Colin. His name was Colin.
He saw him in the Elysium, and he saw him leave, it seems, with some expediency. Toledo gave chase. Domhnall was dealing with this young lady to some degree, her and another classmate of hers from the academy. And in order to keep her safe, beckoned her to accompany. I followed because of pure interest. We chased Colin to the adjoining building, or up the stairs, all the way to the roof, whereupon we encountered two individuals. This Michael, the one Toledo vanquished, and there was another with a harlequin mask and a significantly dangerous looking black sword. Domhnall made efforts to restrain him, but he eluded our grasp by stepping into shadows. All of this predicated by us coming onto the stairs, up to the roof, and as soon as we set foot on the roof, they pushed Colin over. We had no way of stopping that. We had no way, of restraining the shadow guy. That is as we have experienced it.
Takes an unnecessarily deep sigh as he stares daggers at you, Mordecai. You do know how this looks, right? For you, a rooftop, Tolport kindred, and the thin blood dead. You all just seemingly the only ones who noticed over there.
To be fair, most kindred probably aren't really noticing or paying attention to little fledglings, especially little thin blood fledglings. I knew Colin. It's not the first time I've seen him harassed by that Joker in the mask. He disappeared on me last time too, before I could get my hands on him. So I was probably keeping an eye out where others weren't.
So you expect me to just believe your words? All three of you are new to the city, and all of a sudden this shit happens.
Is the Malkavian new to the city? Do you know who he is? Is he a known troublemaker? Or is he a good Samaritan who...
Malkavian in the evening. Never harmed nobody. Always kept to himself. A little creepy if you ask me, but you stabbed him right in the throat.
Yeah,
No
yes,
reason.
I did. Oh, I had a reason. He threw Colin into your little party. I thought that was rude. Trying to upstage the prince at his own Elysium.
Little Malkavian, little scrawny ass for a boy, pushing someone off.
I mean, you saw how scrawny who he pushed was, right? Now, if you would have pushed my buddy here, pointing to Dom, then yeah, we'd look like we were lying.
All right, you punk asses. Listen. This is Elysium. I demand to know what actually happened. Now, if this is some stage act y'all are performing, I suggest you drop it. Who sent you?
That is what actually happened. If you'd get your dick out of your ass and actually wake up the kindred who's in torpor and ask them, you would know the truth.
Mr. Watts is dead, sir. Domino, was it?
Yeah, that's right.
I was told about you by Cretios. Thinks he's hot shit. Bruja. You know what I pride myself upon in Chicago? You know what most
Pizza?
venture pride themselves upon? It is respect. And right now, I don't feel no respect from any of you, including you, Mordecai. I'm gonna ask once again, what the fuck happened up on our roof? Before I lose my shit.
My prince, if I may speak, I was dragged into this by the Bruja,
Ah, so now we're pointing fingers.
but that is what happened. At least for me. He said that he's gonna bring me back to my group, and then suddenly
Since you're so adamant about throwing them under the bus, Miss Leanne, you tell me what the hell happened up there.
So when I got up there, Colin was telling me he was at the edge of the building, and he said, like, do not come near me, they're going to hurt you, Scarlet. And there was this crazy Malkavian question mark, I don't know, he looks like a crazy person. And then there was another guy wearing this crazy mask, and then Colin got pushed off the building, and I was trying to get away, but Sir Mordecai told me to stay there. And I witnessed what's the priest? What's your name, sir?
It's Toledo.
Toledo. Just suddenly appear and then stab the other crazy guy with his knife, and there was so much blood. And that is the...
You think any kindred, rational kindred, would believe this, that some Malkavian pushed this thin blood off the roof? Well, I mean, he is Malkavian, I'll give you that. But accompanied by this jester-looking, clown-ass-looking asshole in a cloak,
Why don't we
who
wake
just
up the Melchior?
disappeared out of nowhere in front of all four of you. Now, without any evidence, I cannot back you up on this current situation. And it
Sorry.
all looks as if it's the four of you that caused this whole mess. And that makes
Due
me
respect.
look bad.
Do respect, Your Grace. What happened to the Malkavian?
Well, that's for our sheriff on our dear hounds to know. He will
Because
be
that would be
questioned
the
properly.
good.
And if it doesn't check out with him, all 4 years on the hot seat. So, to prove that all 4 years are innocent in this crime, this breach, I'm giving you a week. Or until that Malkavian wakes up from torpor, to find out what the fuck is going on. Until then, all eyes are on for you. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, my prince.
Good. Annabelle, why don't you lead his fine kindred out of my office? And let them know they're on the job now. Welcome to the Camarilla, lady and gents. And Annabelle kind of just smiles at all 4 of you, ushers you all out of the room onto the backstage area. She smiles at each of you. Well, looks like the prince almost lost his temper. I was really hoping to see someone's head get lopped off tonight, but, well, that would be rather boring. So, Miss Leanne, I need you to come with me. I'm just gonna have a little chat with you, that's all.
Okay.
Have a good evening, the 3 of you. Mordecai, sweetie, she blows you a kiss. I'll see you sometime.
So she turns away, I flick it away.
Now, 3 of you are now left backstage, while Scarlett is escorted by Annabelle towards another area. Is there any conversation being had?
Well, this is a fine adventure.
Do
I've
either
never
of you have any?
encountered a kindred. Carry on, sorry.
Do either of you have any contacts that can figure out where that jackass disappeared to?
I might be able to. It all depends on who's home.
Yeah, I can maybe track down something about Colin himself. That might be a good place to start. As I said, I have run into him before.
That's a good point, actually.
New to the city as far as kindred contacts go, and I'd rather not involve my clan in this. My mess, I should clean it up. Actually, this ain't my mess at all, but they like to pin things on us, so I know how things go. We're Camarilla now. Speaking of which, Dom, I couldn't help but notice that you tried getting yourself killed in there with the way you spoke to the prince. I understand you're a Bruja and whatnot, but like there's a pretty obvious line that we shouldn't cross.
He wasn't gonna kill us.
Not us, you.
He can't
Probably.
stand having a Lasombra running around his fucking area any more than we could.
I mean,
All in all, maybe that's a line to toe when you as an individual are up against the prince and not locked in with the rest of us. Speaking of which, anyone notice how quick that little bitch tried to throw us under the bus in there?
Yep.
All right, just making sure it wasn't just me. I was scared too. You didn't see me getting the rest of y'all involved. She's a troublemaker in class 2. All in all, she's gonna be the death of us. I ain't going down like that. I noticed you're in with Annabelle, but I also noticed that little I'll mimic you tossing the kiss away thing. What's up with all that?
It's superficial social nonsense. Play the
Should
game.
we be...
Kiss the hand, kiss the ring. Hurry
I
a favor.
understand.
Get favors done for you.
Plus, it's a Toreador kiss. You probably didn't want to catch anything from it.
Should we be worried about her pulling off our little traitor?
Unsure. It's she showed some interest in her earlier in the evening when the teacher introduced them all.
Yeah, I noticed that. Is that just out of game? Does Scarlet have like stunning or beautiful merit or anything like that?
She do got that beauty.
She got which one? The beautiful one?
Stunning. She is stunning.
Oh, she went full on. Right. So, I mean, did she take interest? Because, I mean, as annoying as she is, the girl's she's got it. Is that just like a Toreador vanity thing, or do you think it runs deeper than that?
It's probably a Toreador thing.
You know, it's funny.
And-
I told Colin just the other night to stand up to it was probably her. I told him to stand up to the pretty popular girl, but now that I've seen her, God, that was bad advice. I hope it didn't go bad for her.
School for kindred. It's basically like prison rules. You just find the biggest bully and punch him as soon as you can.
See, I've been to prison, but I've never been to school, so it's interesting that they're that similar. Maybe my advice was good.
Storyteller, can I sense the unseen around? I mean, have they moved the body away?
Well, no need to roll for this, but yeah, the last time you saw it was Wineka picking it up from the rooftop, and the Nosferatu kind of just carrying it somewhere off in Elysium. The moment you arrived in Elysium, you noticed that Wineka and Alexa disappeared, the hounds, as well as Damien.
Where's Colin?
Oh, Colin is, you guys left him back next to the fountain, but
So he's still there?
you guys are still backstage, unless you move towards that area.
Yeah, I think I want to, actually. I want to sense the unseen and see if I can see if there are any spectral denizens hereabouts.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll your sense the unseen as the three of you kind of move out of the backstage area, perhaps peeling away the maroon curtain and getting to the front place where the actual meeting hall is. Go ahead and roll your sense the unseen.
Sure, I'm rolling the right thing here.
And we'll Toledo and Dom, go ahead and roll your wits and awareness as well, please. But we'll get to that in a moment as the three of you kind of pop out of the backstage area. We'll dance the camera around to the other side of the backstage where Scarlet and Annabelle are now all alone. She pats you on the shoulder to the side, Scarlet. She passionately kind of tucks away one of your hairs behind your ear, a strand of your hair behind your ear. And she smiles at you. My poor little black rose, how was it? Your first meeting with a prince. I hope he didn't scare you away.
He is quite scary, but the prince is very charming too.
He is.
Why am I here? Miss Annabelle?
I am your Primogen. And I thought a little one-on-one couldn't hurt, especially now that you've introduced yourself to the Camarilla, yes? I would just like to get to know my little flower petal. And she kind of boops you on the nose with one of her finger.
I am still unsure of the etiquette when it comes to this kind of thing, since I am new to the Camarilla.
Well, the Camarilla, yes. I'm sure you'll learn all about it at the academy. How exciting. She rolls her eyes sarcastically. But I'm sure you'll do just fine being with us. If you need anything at all, my dear, you can always talk to little Miss Annabelle. And she kind of does a shrug at you, her neck exposed. You can tell that she is amazingly beautiful. You are stunning yourself, but she, perhaps, is on a whole another level. She combs a bit of her silver hair to the side as she smiles at you, showing her fangs. If I need anything, I'm sure that you can get it done for me.
Of course. Anything for you. You are so very beautiful.
Now that is etiquette. You keep this up and I'm sure you will get places here in the Ivory Tower. Now, I didn't just bring you here to exchange pleasantries. I was wondering what really happened up there. I know you've been keeping a lot to yourself. And she kind of looks at you, around you, past your shoulders and your figure. I know things, Miss Leanne. So, why don't you go ahead and tell me anything else you notice strange up there? I, for one, believe there was this red-cloaked individual, but I'm sure you noticed something more than that. Roll your intelligence and resolve, please, Scarlet, in this moment.
Oh boy.
Never mind. Well, with one success, you don't remember anything in this moment, but you do kind of notice that those shadows were unnatural.
Well, the shadows in that roof was very unnatural. It's not normal darkness.
She looks over your shoulders and your frame once again. She licks the top of her teeth in this moment, her fangs protruding. Shadows, you say? If I were you, and she kind of moves in closer to you and whispers in your ear, she tucks another strand away, I would keep that to yourself. She kind of leans backwards. Good talk. Now, I believe you have an investigation to begin with those filthy old men.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to be around them? Well, I guess you have no choice in the matter as the prince ordered you to, but come by my mansion sometime. I'm sure we're gonna have lots and lots of interesting conversations.
Of course.
Let's go then. And she kind of ushers you out towards the front stage area past the moving curtain. And you would notice Dom, Mordecai, and Toledo simply just kind of standing there looking around, maybe waiting for you, or maybe they're just curious of what's going on. Rolling back a little bit of time, Toledo had 2 successes, Dom 3 successes. Okay, yeah. Toledo and Dom, you guys notice that Colin's body is no longer there. You also notice that some of the kindred here have perhaps emptied out of the room. They've made their way perhaps home or back to whatever business they're holding and whatnot. But you also notice Scarlet popping out of the side of the front stage area with Annabelle. Mordecai with 3 successes. There are traces, hints of color around the fountain itself. There is maybe an aura of silver and red emanating from it, but it's just a very faint bit of an aura.
No luck here. I'm at a loss.
It is at this point that Annabelle and Scarlet approach all of you, and she blows all of you, she waves you all goodbye. She blows another kiss, this time towards Scarlet. Have a good night, you four. She struts away in her high heels and her silver dress.
Is there anybody within earshot?
There's quite a few kindred here, but you would notice these individuals, which I'll pop up on the screen. Celia is there. She has black hair, kind of a plump kind of figure with plump lips as well. She is sheepishly looking around, perhaps waiting for someone or something to happen. You also notice some of the toreadors who are waiting for Annabelle, and they kind of walk away together. You also see Alexa here just standing around investigating the statue itself. She seems to be peering very, very deeply into it, along with this individual. It's a small Asian lady. She has dark curly hair that kind of hangs to the side. She has dark brown eyes. She wears a shoulderless kind of dress that kind of hangs below her knees, and she too seems to be busy looking at the statue itself, just for seeing what Mordecai is seeing right now, and you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But other than that, you don't notice anyone else.
So what now? What's the plan?
Friend, I'll say as I clasp a extremely bloody hand on Scarlet's shoulder. Looks like we're all in this together now.
I try to.
Lucky you. And I'll just keep sort of pat the shoulder a couple more times.
Ugh.
Black.
I'm gonna get a bite to eat. Is it possible to? Are there still like Elysium services happening where I can get more free blood here, or is all that shut down now?
From what you could tell earlier, Dom knows this as well as Scarlet. No blood is being served, at least in this Elysium, as it is very close to. It is in downtown. It's going to be it's a little, bad to serve blood in this area, as hunting here is also kind of not right, to say the least.
Yosh.
Elysium is this. Before we do anything, we should I should get another bite. And then, well, there's a few ways we could take this. I have a way that we can see where Colin's been. Maybe follow his trail, see what he's been up to. Obviously, he's involved in all this.
You said you knew him before.
Vaguely. He never gave me any real info about the danger he was in, or who the hell those people were. We go where he was, maybe we'll run into something. But I'm also very much open to other suggestions.
Mordecai, do you have something
Wet
to
wipe.
Oh, I got one. I'll pull out a bloody handkerchief.
No, thank you.
Suit yourself. Tuck it back in.
So there are no otherworldly entities around.
Not from what you can tell, no.
I don't learn anything else here. Should we return to the rooftop, Toledo, just to start your tracking, or?
No, that ain't necessary. We know we can start right here, really, or right outside. Not interested
Yeah,
where
we
we went
kinda know-
after.
We
Yeah.
kind of know
Kinda
which
went up
direction he
from
came
here.
from.
We know before now he was at school. Is that right, Scarlet?
Yes, we all live in the school, so maybe we can look at his room.
We'll start there. Yeah, let's look at it. He lives at the school? Yeah, that's a good starting place. We'll start there. We'll check his room. Maybe I could get a bite along the way. And then I'll see where he goes to before school. Because I know he don't just stay there all the time. He's been out and about.
Well, let's give Toledo a bite. He's leaking everywhere.
Why does that happen?
I'm a little closer to our divine origins than others.
So not all kindred will suffer like that, right?
Not all kindred what?
Not all.
Suffer.
I guess we will head towards the school. Unless anyone has any, again, I'm new to the city. If anyone has an easy way to get me a drink, I'm all for it. Otherwise, I'll do a bit of hunting.
I got nothing.
He's looking right at Mordecai. Mordecai seems established in the city.
I do have
Perfect.
a way.
Lead the way.
I would like no judgment from you.
Banu
Why?
Hakim judging?
Why is that judgment?
I've seen your judgment. I would like none of it. So I guess we go out to my limousine
Hmm.
and drive. Everyone gets
I
in.
think Got a limo?
Do you
Right.
have anything
Get
to
in.
wipe myself with?
Oh no, I can get you a change of clothes.
Mm.
I will follow on the motorcycle.
All right.
I'm climbing in the limousine.
Okay.
You don't know what he's missing out on. Yeah, I'm enjoying the limo. I'm kicking the boots up on the seat and getting back.
As you all step out of Elysium, you all would have noticed some of the eyes kind of prying on you, especially that of Alexa's. She looks at all of you suspiciously, but she pays you no mind afterwards as her attention is drawn towards the little Asian lady, doing some sort of ritual against on the statue of Michael itself. But as you all walk out, you all
Could I notice what that ritual was?
go ahead and roll your intelligence and occult, please.
Ooh, before I leave, I need to tell Celia. Can you tell Frankie and Brian that I'll be
Okay.
away
Where's
for
your
a bit?
gang girlfriend?
Before
Speaking
anything, thank you for reminding me of Celia. Okay, with 3 successes, Toledo, you can tell that she is perhaps trying to figure out what caused the fall, and she's performing a ritual that might allow her to see what caused it, as well as who caused it. You can't tell which ritual it is, but it might be along the lines of illuminating the trail of Trey, something like that. Maybe something more. She is Tremere after all.
That's what I was interested in too. So it's very much a Tremere style of magic.
Okay. As the 3 of you, or 4 of you, begin to walk out, you would see an individual who seems to be very, very skinny, but He is very pale. He has short hair. Looks to be no older than 18 or 19. He wears some sort of plaid type of outfit with a bright green bow tie and like a gray coat over it. He's wearing what seems to be trousers that hang just above his ankles, and he's wearing some sort of bright colored flat shoes, dress shoes. And he puts he kind of adjusts his tie, his button, his bow tie, as he puts his hands on his hips, and he says, well, if it isn't the new kindred in town, how great, nice to meet all of you. He smiles. Mordecai, you would recognize this individual to be Jason Newberry, the Malkavian Primogen. He's smiling brightly as his bright green eyes are simply staring at all four of you. There's something unnerving about the way he speaks and the way he stands there with his hands to his hips.
Senor
Nice
Newberry?
to meet you. Newberry? It is?
That's right. I am the Malkavian Primogen. Oh, thank you so much for apprehending that heathen Michael Strums. He has always been a pain in the butt. But I am glad. but I'm so thankful for all of you. Yes. Hi. Once again, I am Jason Newberry. And he kind of holds his hands out, shaking each and every one of you. Starts with Mordecai, of course. Mr. Mordecai, right? He says in a kind of a squeamish voice, or a squeaky voice.
Mr. Newberry?
You shake his hand. You shake his hand. And you, Mr. Bruja, wow, you look very tough.
I grind his hand in mine.
Oh, that's typical. Oh, very strong indeed. I bet you do a lot of things with those hands, he says with a bright smile. And you, minister, a man of the cloth, I see.
Father, actually. Minister, I mean, not the clan, but also not technically that
He's the
denomination.
minister.
The name's Toledo. And I'll just reach a hand out and shake it.
Oh, my apologies. He kind of shakes it firmly as well. And as he looks at you, Scarlet, you can see his eyes kind of study you for a bit. Go ahead and roll your wits and insight. All of you, actually.
Wits, insight.
And he reaches for your hand as well. And you, I love your outfit. Wow, we almost kind of match. I love the color of red. It is the best color, isn't it? He kind of reaches for your hand.
I kind of like avoided by curtsying and saying, my name is Scarlet Lian of Clan Toreador. Forgive me, but my hand is a bit bloody from...
Oh, that is not a problem. And as you kind of wipe away your hands, he reaches for your hand. It is in this moment that Celia comes in as she kind of pulls you away, and she says, don't touch him. Don't. She whispers to you, oh, that was very rude, Miss Celia. Don't you learn some manners? Won't you learn some manners from that school?
We're really sorry, Mr. Can you please excuse us for a second?
I swear, those heathens, those little children you call fledglings, they are of no use to the Camarilla whatsoever. If it was up to me, I would have them destroyed by the sunlight. Don't you agree, Minister?
Which one?
Well, both of you, he says. And are you, he looks at you, Dom. Do you affiliate yourself with the Anarchs? Or are you strictly Camarilla? Or do you play both sides?
I'm just gonna look around and see if we're actually off Elysium grounds, because I'm gonna beat this guy to death with my bicycle armor.
Yes. Oh.
We're still on Elysium, aren't we?
Please don't.
Fuck.
Mr. Goodberry.
Oh, that's Newberry.
Yes, Newberry. Come,
Dingleberry.
I do, and I try to basically draw his eyes, get his attention.
Should we want to do that to a mount?
I absolutely agree that we should teach them some manners.
They're
And sort of
just
waving-
troublemakers. Look what happened to the Elysium. Our great Elysium was disturbed, and our prince's speech was, of course, disrupted. If it were up to me, I would have each one of them destroyed.
Well, that's a little harsh. And I'm waving behind him, sort of thing, while I'm sort of aiming and talking at him and talking at the Elysium, and I'm sort of waving behind him to get the other two into the car. Like,
Celia,
absolutely.
Celia. What's wrong?
It's a little harsh.
It's our time to leave.
Educate by demonstration, or I have a perfect idea.
So Mordecai just kind of gestures for the both of you to get the hell away, while Newberry is beginning to talk, like rant and stuff about these duskborne.
Oh, but I have an idea. Now, what was her name? She was the headmistress of that school.
Miss Naomi.
Oh, you mean Miss
Naomi
Stewart?
Stewart.
That's her. You know, you, my friend Goodberry, are astute. You are a learned scholar. You have the city's best interest in mind. And
I do.
I believe that you would make a fine instructor for these new kindred.
He smiles wickedly.
Tell you what, actually, I am going to
slightly pull the
find
other
her
two
this evening.
Wait, no,
I have
wait.
to run.
Don't wait. I
I'm
need to
going
talk to
find her this
Celia.
evening.
Move it.
Get her in the car too. I'm going to talk with her this evening. I will mention your name and how erudite and dedicated you are to the safety of the city by means of helping these new kindred find their way like the lost sheep they are.
Charisma and subterfuge, please.
But still, don't.
Or
Celia.
manipulation, whichever.
You're gonna walk to the car, or I'm gonna carry you.
No.
Cleo's
That's
not
subterfuge or
moving.
persuasion?
Subterfuge in this moment.
But she seemed like she needs to talk to me.
6
And that sounds like a personal problem. Let's go.
Oh no.
You know what? You are right. I will run by that idea with Miss Stewart once again. She has said no to me several times already, but I will give her a piece of my mind once I get the chance.
I wonder why.
You do that. Not too harshly, though. Emphasize your enthusiasm for the new bloods, the fledglings, and how you want to help shepherd them.
Oh, yes, of course, of course. Oh,
Instead
that's
of talking
brilliant.
about the thin bloods and the students and whatnot, you mentioned Michael's troubled. How about you tell us what you know about him? 'Cause we
Oh.
just had a mighty outrun-in with that someone in your clan.
Oh, well, Michael Strums, he has been one of those people who just wants to play both sides. I figured this out by myself, though I did not do anything about it, though. I could have prevented this whole ordeal by myself, but in any case, I thought he was just loony, a little crazy, you know?
Are all my
Sure.
previous
What gave you
skills-
that impression about him?
Oh, well, he is weird. He was weird. He had these crazy eyes, the way he twirled his hair while he talked, the way he kind of paranoidly kind of laughs at all the smallest jokes and the smallest details. It was rather unnerving.
Nothing else seemed off about him? He wasn't into any weird shit? You say you played both sides. That's just Camarilla. He wasn't into any darker side?
No. He was playing both schools. Yeah, that's the kind of guy he was. Mm-hmm.
Both schools. Interesting.
He would go to Cretias, and then he would go to Miss Stewart like a little boy. It's kind of annoying, really. All the problems went to me as the primogen. In any case, I would love to see where that Miss Leanne went. Where did she go, huh?
I think she went
a
a point inside.
She might have gone
Elysium.
back inside.
Oh, well, I would like to finish my introductions with her. If you'll excuse me, it was nice to meet all of you gentlemen. He nods once again as he turns on his heels, puts his hands around his back as he clasps it together and walks gingerly inside.
FK in the RK.
Toledo will then go in the car.
I'm already in the limousine with Dom. So.
Oh, I'm not in the limousine.
Oh, I'm in the limousine.
We'll rewind.
Because
we'll
Dom
rewind
was
time
threatening
close.
me.
just a little bit as Dom, Scarlett, and Celia walk towards the parking lot. Dom, as you notice the parking lot, you would notice that where you parked your Harley Davidson, where it was, you would notice that there are no cars anymore. It's just your vehicle there, as well as the limousine, of course. You notice that the engine has been taken out. It is missing the actual engine. There is a note on it attached to your bike.
Somebody's gonna die.
Why? Why?
It is just an upside down smiley face.
What's
is-
wrong?
Without a roll, you can tell this has probably happened because you caused all the alarms to go off earlier.
Some Malkavian's gonna die.
Why? I approach.
Yeah, just show her the note.
Yeah, it's a smiley face.
Yeah.
I am confused.
Yeah, you get used to that being a kindred.
Okay. Turn to Celia. Celia, what is going on? Why did you stop me from?
Oh, she kind of gestures towards you. Don't talk to him. He's creepy. He's very, very weird. He's creepier than both priests
Oh.
combined.
Oh.
Just don't let him touch you. He can see things.
Is it part of the discipline as Malkavian?
She nods.
Ah. Okay.
Doesn't like me very much. He doesn't. He wouldn't like you either.
Yeah, because we are both fledgling.
He looks at me like I'm some sort of food. Some piece of steak.
Okay, yeah, we are staying far away from the creepy Primogen. Malkavian Primogen? Yeah, we're staying far away from him.
He's creepy. He's creepy. She says, Dios mío. She starts praying in Spanish at the moment as she, kind of does a sign of the cross and she closes her eyes.
Yeah, Celia, if when you see Frankie and Brian, just tell them that I am safe. I am currently with doing a job for the prince. Okay.
She looks behind and she notices Toledo and Mordecai approaching. Oh no, she says under her breath. Dom, you can hear all of this, by the way.
Why is there an oh no?
Get your shit together, kid.
They're weird. They're all weird. Please don't tell me you're going with all these old men.
Looks at Dom.
First of all, you squirrely little shit. I object to the term old.
She
Hey,
shivers in this moment, afraid.
don't be mean to Celia. Anyway, Celia, you should go home.
Get
Go
in the
back
car.
to the.
Okay, I was just waiting to say thank you.
No worries.
If you wish to make sure your friend is safe, accompany us.
Look of fear grows in her eyes in this moment as she looks at you, Mordecai. I think I'll be okay. Thank you. And she waves you goodbye, Scarlet, as she begins to move away.
Take care of that snake.
That's not Gangrel. That is Celia.
Okay. And the four of you once again reconvene. Man, the limousine is prepared. The door swings open, and I imagine all four of you get in.
Dom, if you have to stick here and deal with your bike, keep you updated. I don't know if you're the best person to go around talking to school kids.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah, do you have anything to wipe myself with, Mr. Mordecai?
Oh, don't worry. I can, as I said, I can get you a
This
change of
is-
clothing.
This is
In one of the saddlebags of the bike, I probably have like a semi-clean-ish / oily rag, and I toss it to her.
Blood and oil.
Okay.
no.
It's the new name of the chronicle, probably.
I will perhaps see the three kindred, Scarlet, Mordecai, and Toledo, get in the vehicle, the limousine, the large stretch of it. Well, Dom figures out what the hell to do with his engineless motorbike.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll
pause.
probably find my engine somewhere nearby. It'll take me
Probably.
time to put it back together.
Okay. Before we cut to break, go ahead and roll your wits and investigation, Dom.
All right, wits and investigation. Because I have so much of those.
Or awareness, whichever one. Oh, okay. With 2 successes.
Oh shit, that's a crit.
With 2 successes, it takes you a while as, the 3 of them kind of drive off into the night. You stick around, perhaps trying to figure out who the hell played this prank on you. A little bit of your Bruja rage coming too as you get frustrated looking for the missing engine. You look behind, dumpsters, nearby park and whatnot. But eventually you're able to find it underneath or within a fallen down log. And there's another note. You notice this log because there is a note on that log. It is another upside down smiley face. And we see a bit of a frustrated look in Dom's eyes as perhaps he curses under his breath as he finds the engine within that log.
I'm gonna find a Malakavian, and I'm gonna beat that Malakavian with another Malakavian.
Okay. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Be right back.
I have to
folks.
leave. See you later, bye.
Lou?
Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you guys for sticking around. We're just gonna jump right into it with our coterie members. Or are you guys a coterie now? Well, we're gonna find out tonight as you all kind of drive off in Mordecai's limousine. You all look at the time, or at least the driver informs you that it is around 1:30 in the morning, approaching 2 o'clock. So, what are you guys' plans for the evening or the rest of the evening?
Mordecai so kindly was volunteering a judge-free meal to Toledo, who could use it before he starts using his blood to track down Colin's whereabouts.
Now, there's a proviso. Can't kill anyone. You must keep
I
the
won't.
beast under control.
Pretty good at control myself. Usually don't even drink directly from people. It's
I am impressed with the
drinking
fact that
from,
you've been hemorrhaging quite significantly all over my car seats.
yeah. Sorry about your limo. Speaking of which, instead of a limo, maybe next time we could take a bus. Maybe like the one Scarlet threw us under earlier.
I see what you did there.
The prince
Yeah,
was
but we didn't talk
asking my
about that.
version of the thing.
The prince was waiting for just that, once one of us to rat out the others. Looking for the weak point, which he found, and trying to make it crumble, so then the rest of us look guilty.
I don't.
We all know we didn't actually do anything wrong, yourself included. But that's how people like that work. They let you know you did something wrong. They don't even care if it's right or not, but now they got something on us and we have to do stuff for them. It sucks.
They would have done it anyway.
Exactly. I learned a long time ago to just grin and bear it. Dom worries me a little bit because
Is that how
I was very
these things
surprised
go?
that Prince didn't kill him over that, honestly. In other cities, I would have. Yeah, there's a fine line between groveling and keeping a little bit of your dignity. Your kind should be good at figuring that out. I just stab things, so I just try to keep my mouth shut.
Exactly. We all have our parts to play.
We do. Should we
Go easy
maybe
on her,
just
though. She got scared. And no surprise. I mean, he's not exactly an intimidating fellow at the best of times, but he has savvy, and he knows how people think. So it's not a negative thing to have been outmaneuvered by someone with such a keen mind.
That is a fair point.
The trick is to
Scarlet.
learn from it.
I offer my apologies, but don't throw us under a bus again, if you can help it.
Okay.
I forget I'm technically your professor now. I need to take that role seriously.
What?
I was Colin's mentor. Colin died. Not surprising. That's stuff tends to happen around me. But I mean, I'm not your personal mentor. I'm not offering that. But as you heard, Miss Watts, I'm part of the school now. So, but if you're looking for someone to show you more of the ropes, this dude, he's got a vibe about him. Mordecai's clearly smart and knows what the hell's going on. You listen to him. And maybe I could teach you how to actually do something a little more productive in a violent situation. I noticed you froze up a little bit up there.
I am not a fighter.
Everyone's a fighter. You just got to know how. And in fact, it was impressive. I saw at first, I caught my eye. I saw it look like you were about to run away. And then you stopped and you stood your ground. That was brave of you up there.
Yes.
You already got the inklings of something greater than yourself. You got a foundation to work with.
Rare praise.
What can you tell us about this school, though? The school seems to keeps getting brought up. Colin was obviously at the school. This Michael guy played both sides. The two sides being the two schools, which I thought interesting. You hear two sides, you think Camarilla Anarch, not two schools. So what's going on there? How's your experience been there so far?
Stewart Freeman Academy. We all stay in the university, and we've got classes teaching us how Camarilla works with Miss Stewart. She's not very accommodating, but yeah, we are a very small class. We've got all kinds of clans in it. We've got the duskborns. Nothing much, really.
Are the duskborns treated any differently than the rest of you there?
No,
Impressive.
we're all classmates, so
I'm sure y'all noticed that Mr. Newberry seemed to... Something about the Duskborns got him real rattled. I personally don't understand all the hubbub about him. I mean, you saw what happened. You could push them off a roof and they're done. I don't know why everyone's so scared of him. But prophecies and whatnot, I guess.
yeah. Celia said he's a very weird, even weirder than the both of you combined.
What do you mean by that? No, go ahead and explain yourself. I'm listening.
No, I mean it is very weird that I am.
What's weird about me?
I mean, be fair, she is new to the city. She's come into some kind of scholarly capacity, and she is in a limousine whose backseat is soaked in blood, sitting next to someone who literally drew a magic sword or blade of some kind out of his arm.
And is currently bleeding.
And me, who disturbs some people a little more than they are comfortable with.
So I pull one blade out of my arm and I'm a weirdo. All right. I thought my clan was the one who
That's a
judged
trick.
people. Apparently
I would
not.
like to learn that trick.
I would be
That is
happy to
impressive.
teach you. Assuming you dedicate your life to my clan.
Okay. As you guys shift, maybe uncomfortably in the plush leather seats of this limousine, you guys try to relax. You know that there's a feeling that you can't shake off about tonight. There's a lot of things that just happened. Elysium, Colin's death, who that mysterious individual was, and maybe Newberry's actual conversation with y'all. There's something not sitting right, and that's what the insight rolls were for. But you guys can't put your finger on it. Eventually, though, you make it to the Gold Coast of Chicago and the northern part of it, northern district, where you abandon all of the downtown, festivities and whatnot. You notice that more and more houses are gone spread apart with lots, large yards filled with, flowers and just all sorts of accoutrements that pretty much just says this is the lavish lifestyle. And as you go up the hill, you would come to a particular mansion. Go ahead and describe to us what your haven looks like from the outside, Mordecai.
Opulent, but not obnoxiously so. It's got, the parapets. It's got the rounded internal driveway and a fountain. The whole, it's basically uproot a mansion from Hollywood and plunk it down in the middle of Chicago.
Okay. And the limousine kind of makes its way around that circle and eventually stops at the very front, by the pillars that kind of greet the three of you as you all kind of step out of the vehicle. You notice that this place is rather large, like unnecessarily large. There are a few cars parked out front, all kind of designer and sports car. There's Mercedes Benz's, Audis, Ferraris, all sorts of colorful, trendy vehicles and whatnot. And it seems like there is a party going on inside. There's a bit of music being played out. It's muffled, but you can tell it is perhaps along the lines of classical.
Huh. Can I
Definitely
just stay
revive
with
it.
you? This is like a big upgrade from my dormitory.
But this is all you? You live here?
Yes.
Not bad.
Doesn't everyone
not
have a
bad.
house like this? I've
Sure
been
don't.
around a while, and I know the right people. Come, let me introduce you.
Teller. Would this address be similar to the one I received from Colin?
No. This is completely different. What you receive from Colin is on the western district of Chicago. You guys are now on the northern side, on the more rich, more
Okay.
Hollywood-like lifestyle.
Gotcha. Hey. Like, look, seems like you got a lot going on. I just need a quick bite, and then we can get the show on the road if that's all right with y'all.
Absolutely. Come inside.
After you.
Walk inside,
Mhm.
and have either of you seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Yeah, that. So there's a woman mostly naked with basically beads or some kind of jewelry covering nothing, dancing with a man who kind of has the look of a stereotypical sort of businessman, politician type. He's slightly overweight, or he has a beard. Another man over there is getting some kind of oral sex from someone. And there's generally sort of little pockets of people, little chunks of debauchery as you wander through the place.
Immediately, Toledo's hands would fly to cover Rena or Scarlett's eyes. Just look to Mordecai.
there's
You gotta
blood.
warn us before we're walking into something
You
like
Blood.
this.
didn't ask.
Dang,
I
Trying.
did warn you.
Blood!
this is dripping with sin.
No! Okay, I'm
Can't
trying
kill
to get
anyone.
his stupid fucking hand.
Oh yeah,
You're-
he's not gonna fight it. He would go to cover your eye, but if you push away, yeah, you push him away.
No, there's
No.
blood all over my face.
My particular
smacking
favorite.
and moaning somewhere in the background. You hear screaming and whatnot, screaming in a pleasurable sense, of course. And all of this kind of, is drowned out by the music as well. And you guys are, I think you guys are way in over your heads, especially Scarlet.
Now, this way to the
Got blood,
refreshments.
got blood all over my face.
Cleto's very respectfully trying not to look or make eye contact with anyone, but also stealing a glance every opportunity he gets.
I'm
Every
busy.
time you do, it's welcomed, as these individuals are wearing like masquerade masks, half masks. Some of them are, as Mordecai mentioned, they're all barely dressed. It's just the mask that covers anything, and it's tiny beads that kind of cover up their bits. But every time you steal a glance or Scarlet kind of looks sheepishly, looks away, they approach all of you with care and intimacy. It's almost as if they like you being here. They kind of rub up against your shoulders. They touch you by the arm. Some of them even squeeze your butt, Toledo. As you pass
Toledo
by,
would sort of he would giggle and then try to get serious again. What the hell's wrong with these people? What sort of operation you running, Mordecai?
Yeah.
They don't even seem
Mr.
bothered that he's covered in blood.
Oh my god.
there's all sorts of kinks going on here. Blood is like the last thing you need to be worried about. But
This
eventually,
is
you
very new.
All right, take them to the red room.
the feeding room. Okay, yeah. As you walk down the hall of this rather unnecessarily large mansion, you pass by a few rooms. Some of the doors are wide open, some of them are strictly closed. But as you pass by these rooms, there are all sorts of sexual acts being performed by not just two people, but 3 or 4, maybe a group of them. And it's very kinky, to say the least, to put it politely. While some prying eyes look upon you, some are too busy. Eventually, all 3 of you get to the red room. Mordecai opens the door.
As before we're walking down the hall, just before we get to the red room, I sort of pause and I sort of put my arms out. Listen to them. My children of the night. What music they make.
Is this normal, Toledo?
And I Come.
Unfortunately, a lot of kindred, once you get old and weird enough, as you said, you get into this. Yeah.
Me casa e su
This-
casa, and I open the door to the red room. And inside, you see people in various states of rope tied and hanging, sort of thing, and gently dripping from small cuts into little bowls. Every now and then there's a little drip. It's sort of almost like almost musical in a way, and actually that's sort of accented because there's someone who has one of those cups or those wine glasses with the varying levels of a little bit of blood in each sort of thing, and she's sort of playing this little thing, trying to match it to the violin music outside. Every now and then sort of reaching out, having a little bit of drip, seeing if she's actually tuning each of the glasses in tune.
I just pick up a bowl. Is that what I do here?
By all means.
Isadora saw me in this place. I would get a earful, and I'm just gonna go for a bowl and start gulping. Big gulp. Actually, while we're here, you got any changes of clothes maybe for me and the missus?
Oh, pardon me, I completely forgot.
I am covered in blood.
Something maybe with a little more than just a few well-placed beads.
Now, are you feeling bashful now? All right, yes, fine. Alexia, find something
You got an Alexa?
conservative for my gentleman cowboy friend here, and something.
Find something all black.
All red.
Something red in
Fashionable.
a. Do you want it form-fitting? I don't.
Of course.
Toreador, I don't know. Sure, okay. Something form-fitting and red in a size. And he walks over, grabs you by the hips. 8.
What?
Alexia, this pale, stricken individual. She has dark brown hair that hangs off her shoulders, and she's wearing like a white see-through dress. She simply bows as she stops playing the music, and she walks out of the room.
If anyone needs a toughing up, that would be the time.
How much hunger can I slate?
How much is your herd rating, Mordecai? Is it 3?
3.
Okay.
Yep.
I believe you can slake. Let's give you 2 dots of hunger. If you would like to slake 2 dots of hunger, it's really up to you. But if you slake 1 dot of hunger, or 2 dots, he will have that reduced from his herd. Not 2 dots, but like for the week. I mean, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, Toledo doesn't care. Yeah, he's drinking until 2 dots. 2 is perfect. That brings him down to 1.
Scarlett, if you are going to feed as well, you can.
I got no hunger.
Lucky you.
But lucky you.
Lucky you. All right.
I mean,
I just
I should probably actually come to think of it. I think I'm at 1 or 2. Might be at 2.
As the 3 of you, kind of 2 of you satisfy your, satiate your hunger, Alexia walks back in. She is carrying on one arm a silvery red dress that is it looks a little small. Actually, it's not a dress. As she hands it over to you, you would realize that it is very form-fitting indeed, to say the least. And after you put it on, I'll go ahead and describe it. She hands you a black
And Alexia
one to
is
Toledo.
used to dressing me as well. So she would walk up right behind Scarlett. She would walk up behind Scarlett and basically just unzip her out of her regular clothes.
Hey!
Because she's used to dressing me,
Pants.
so.
Off!
Okay. She walks over to Toledo. She gives you this black sort of suit and tie getup. It's in this little case, of course, and she hands it over to you. And I imagine the 2 of you get dressed because you all are covered in blood. Okay. As you guys just changed right there in front
No,
of...
I'm
it's
gonna
what
look for
Toledo
a...
would.
I mean, there are literally people hanging from ropes that are naked all around the room.
I would rather not dress with the 2 creepy priests in the room. Thank you.
I'm still not sure which one of us she's referring to.
Both of you.
He
As-
points to 2 hanging people.
You guys get dressed and whatnot. Toledo, you notice that you are now wearing some sort of business savvy outfit, black, all black, and it's kind of form fitting. It kind of accentuates, your shoulders and whatnot. It kind of matches with your hat as well. Looks like Alexia did a good job picking out your outfit. Scarlet, on the other hand, though,
Fuck this.
Alexia bows and says sorry to you as she says, "I couldn't find anything of the size 8 matter, but this would be fine, yes?" And she turns to you, Mordecai, and what you see, Mordecai, is she's not wearing a dress. She's wearing an all-red, silvery latex sort of outfit. It is one of those BDSM kind of things that you but it's completely red, and it kind of goes up to her neck. It's actually very, very extremely form-fitting. It's comfortable for you, Scarlett, but at the same time, it kind of reminds you of something you would not wear outside the bedroom. Apologies, we have no more size 8 dresses that are clean.
Oh, that's right. The dry cleaning. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot.
I am.
My apologies.
Oh, no problem. It's a little form-fitting, but I'm happy with it.
You look good. You look.
Oh, you're talking about, and you probably notices Scarlet for the first time. Carnation?
It's flattering.
If you'd like, madame, I can fetch you a size 10 dress instead.
No, do you have a coat or anything to cover myself?
Oh, that's good. Yes, a coat. Cropped leather or something.
Indeed. And she goes out to the back room and she fetches you a black fur coat.
I mean,
Toledo, when he got undressed, you would have noticed too. His whole body is probably just covered in all sorts of very poor quality, just simple black and white tattoos, reminiscent of like prison tats. Clearly, like amateur patchwork jobs, just all over under his clothes when he changes. He'd leave the tie. He still has his bolo tie, so even though it is a little probably blood stain on it, he'd wipe it off and. He doesn't do regular ties. Bolo ties that's what gentlemen wear. So that's what he puts on, but with the suit and the hat.
I mean, Scarlet, we could probably find you, I don't know, a nurse or a police officer costume or something.
You know what? Having a cop could be useful. You good at being undercover? Nah, you know what? Your cop uniform. I know never mind. We're burning moonlight. Let's go.
I
they're
doubt
furry
that
things.
the cop outfit is the normal one.
It would probably show more than what you're wearing, yes.
Will you be staying here for the evening? She Alexia looks at both of you.
We
Toledo
might
and Scarlet.
return.
I would no. I'd be in trouble.
Some of us might return. I know I'm coming back.
She nods and she continues to do the music on the empty wine glasses. But now that your hunger has been satiated, what is your plan? You guys do know that you need to begin your investigation if you want to be in the good graces of the prince. So, how do you plan this out?
I think we should go to the school, investigate. If he has a room there, just look through his stuff at the school, and then I'll be doing a ritual to see where he has been before that.
Yes, and so that I can change as well.
You don't have time for that anymore.
Okay. All right, so imagine the three of you head out back into the limousine and make your way down to the Stuart Freeman Academy, all the way from the north side of Chicago. Now, I'd like to remind you that it is around 2 o'clock, 2:30, around this time. You guys have a couple hours to do a few, just one thing actually. If you guys want to go to the Stuart Freeman Academy, you guys have enough time to do that. So, If you guys have the feeding out of the way, you can easily head there. We'll fast forward a little bit through the limousine ride once again, perhaps with the both of you kind of staring and looking at Scarlett's new outfit, her body latex outfit. But eventually,
So she
Oh.
makes stuff.
all three of you eventually get to the Stuart Freeman Academy. You would notice that outside it kind of looks like a regular boarding school, perhaps. But the moment you guys park and exit out of the vehicle, you guys get to the courtyard, and it is rather large. To the left side is perhaps where you can think of where the laboratories are and where the other libraries and other study places are. And to the right side, you would notice that there is a sign for the bedroom, which probably means that the dorms are on the right wing of this academy, this establishment. As you walk in, Scarlett, you would immediately notice that Frankie is sitting by one of the one of the benches, and she's seemingly playing with the snake on the outside. She's surrounded by a few other individuals, seemingly human, because you don't recognize any of them, and they just seem to be adoring Frankie as well as the snake. Both of you, Mordecai and Bully, would also recognize this gangrel to be the red-haired earlier in Elysium.
I try to sneak past Frankie.
As soon as I see him, oh hey, it's us.
Oh.
Nice to see you again. You brought your friend back, safe and sound.
The moment that Frankie's eyes land upon you, Scarlett, she has this wide-eyed expression on her, and she covers her mouth a bit, but the snake immediately does the hissing noise as she realizes who Scarlett is, and she immediately retreats back into the shirt of Frankie. But the three of you head in without a word to these, unless you want to talk to the students. And I imagine you're here to see Miss Stewart.
I just make the sign towards Frankie as I pass.
Hey, yo, what's up, girl? How you doing? You see Chester emerge from the dormitory, and she kind of he puts a hand on his hip as he says, "Damn, who you been hanging with?" "Oh shit, we brought the two priests back here. What's up, homies?" He says to the both of you.
That's Professor Toledo to you, first of all, sir, and show the lady a little bit of respect. You're embarrassing
Professor?
yourself.
"Oh, you gonna work here now? Shit. Damn, you cool in my book. All right, Professor T. I'll see you around." And this guy, I know who he is. He's oh shit. You went to his mansion, didn't you?
You know him, Chester?
Who doesn't know him? God damn. He runs the BDSM scene in town. Well, he's part of it, but holy shit. Don't tell me you're into that. Man, why didn't I get an invite?
I'm trying to push Chester back into his room. It's okay.
Hey, oh man, I know you want to get handsy. Okay, if you want to go back to my room, that's cool too. I'll see you officer's letter or minister's. Kind of pulls Scarlett in his room.
What? No.
What just happened?
We don't have time for that.
Rap on the door.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Rap on the door.
Okay. But eventually Scarlett, if you can easily fight him off and shake him off. But eventually Miss Stewart emerges from the private library. She has both her hands clasped in front of her, and she greets the three of you.
I grab him by the that, and then just push him later, Chester, and then go away.
I assume you're here because of Mr. Watts.
That is correct. We just have a few questions about really anything you can tell us about him. We understand he was a troubled individual, and you seem to have some insight on that.
Please follow me, she says as she heads towards deeper into the right wing where the dormitories are. And she makes her way, further down the hall, but stops midway through. She jiggles the doorknob to her left, and it kind of just swings wide open. Inside, you would notice that the place is a whole mess. The comforter, the what do you call it? The mattress itself is, the cover is barely hanging off on it properly. The comforter is thrown to the ground. The pillows are everywhere. Some of his clothes are all over the furniture. You would immediately notice that the mirror is smashed to the right-hand side of the room itself. And on the ceiling, there are some red stains.
I am not going inside the room. This is
It also
very-
smells like marijuana.
Ooh.
Scarlet, if you'd feel more comfortable, you can use this time to change into something
Yes, I would.
more you.
Yes, I would prefer that, she would say
Yeah.
as she looks at Scarlet.
Yes.
Yeah, you do what you need to do, Scarlet, and you can meet us back here, or if we finish, we'll find you.
Heading back to my room.
And as Scarlet leaves, we see Mordecai and Toledo there with Miss Stewart. She eyes the place up and down. You can see a bit of sadness in the way she looks at the room itself.
Eyes of the unseen.
Okay, all right, let's see that resolve and discipline roll. For you, Toledo, go ahead and roll your what's an investigation. Be careful not to misplace anything. I know it's quite a tall task, but he was always one of the messy students in my academy. Would you like to re-roll, Mordecai? You can re-roll up to 3 dice.
I'm actually going to re-roll a couple of mine as well, if that's okay.
You can re-roll up to 2 dice.
And it's just straight 3 dice roll.
Yep. You can just roll a 3d10 at the cost of willpower.
You hit WP re-roll next to your thing.
With 2, 6, 2 and 2 for the both of you. Okay. Mordecai, as you activate your auspex, your sense of the unseen, you call upon the preternatural abilities that the beast has given you, and you look around the room in this moment. Your eyes dart past the clothing, the mirror, the furniture, the red stains on top, and you can see just a faint glow on the red stains up above. But there is something that draws you towards a little cubby, this dresser on the very corner of the room. It has a faint silver glow. Just a very, very slither of it. Toledo, with your 2 successes, you perhaps look around and you notice that this kid it looks like he was disturbed himself. You've been to prison, you've seen people who have mental derangements, and perhaps Colin was experiencing some sort of derangement himself. Though he's not Malkavian, that doesn't mean anything. He could just be a normal person that experiences anxiety or extreme paranoia. But with those 2 successes, that's all you find out. At this moment, as the both of you kind of look around, that Scarlet comes back in. She is now wearing normal clothes.
Something more fitting for a toreador.
I mean, have you seen Annabelle? Regardless, what do your eyes see, Toledo?
I'm still not stepping into that room.
Nothing too surprising. Colin obviously had his issues. Stuart's still there, correct?
Yeah, she's just standing by the door.
What do you know about Colin's life outside of this? Specifically, anything concerning his embrace and how he got it wound up here.
He came into my academy about a month or so ago. He was a fledgling, sireless, and worse, he's duskborne. He didn't know what he was, yet his heart still beat. He was warm to the touch, and, well, he expressed lots of human emotions. He started acting out about 3 weeks ago. At first, we thought it was just his paranoia, but from what I've heard from the other duskborne, there was something more about him. He possessed abilities that none of them had. But I do not know. They tend to keep that to themselves, and I do respect my students' privacy. That is all I know. Regarding his before his unlife, he was disturbed. From what I found out, he grew up in an orphanage by somewhere in the northwestern district. Zurine orphanages or something. It's a collection of them. But he grew up there. Apparently he was abandoned as a child, and much like his childhood, he was also abandoned here. Luckily, we found him just in time before he broke more traditions, at least the Masquerade.
How'd you find him? What was he up to? What did he do?
He was on the southern side of Chicago. He was at a random party or something, and luckily one of my students, Chester, as well as Kathleen, found him there. He was seemingly hunting, though he did not know how to.
Can I sneak out and then look for Chester when I hear this? Like just go for it.
He's outside as well. He's just looking at you up and down.
You,
what's up, girl?
Me, talk.
Oh, god damn! All right, he says as he kind of throws you a large smirk. Where do you gesture to?
Probably private area.
In your bedroom, his
My
bedroom?
probably. Ugh, I'm not going to his bedroom.
Okay.
Probably have something
Alright.
weird in there.
He easily follows you. But it is as you open your door and whatnot, you hear the door behind you open as well, as you see Brian and Nosferatu kind of peer out just a little bit. He doesn't say anything though, he's just looking. His cold, undead eyes just looking with a bit of resentment towards Chester. But he minds his own business as he shuts it loudly. Okay. You find yourself with Chester alone in your empty bedroom.
Tell me what you know about Colin. I do that as I said that as I sit down on my bed.
You see him unbuttoning his shirt already as he says, "Oh shit,
Chester.
That's the kind of dirty talk you want? Damn."
Focus.
Oh, what you mean, girl? I am focused. He kind of stands up straight. You see his abs kind of protruding from his button-up. Like what you see, girl? I do too.
I just wanted to talk.
Go ahead and roll your charisma and persuasion in this moment.
Add good looks.
Yes. Okay. With 4 successes, you see him kind of pout a bit as he says, I don't know what kind of weird foreplay you're into, girl, but all right. He says as he kind of, he doesn't put his, he doesn't button it back up, but he simply stands there with you, kind of a little inching closer and closer.
I heard from Miss Stewart that you found Colin.
Oh shit, man! If you're gonna talk about Colin like this, I ain't got nothing to tell you.
Anything at all?
He kind of looks you up and down in this moment. You see his dark green eyes sort of linger on your chest and then on your hips. I mean, if you want to talk, I mean,
I promise to give you a really good reward if you tell me everything you know.
Okay. Kind of smacks his lip a little bit as he rubs his fingers together. All right, shit. What do you want to know, huh?
Everything. How did you find Colin?
Man, it was like, I don't know, like 2 months ago, something like that. It was fairly recent. I know it was like spring. It was like beginning of spring or something. We were like partying on the southern side. It was like this party being held by some cool individual. And well, me and Kathleen, we was out like, bumping, grinding to the music, just, doing all sorts of stuff in this house party. And we noticed this kid kind of, just stealing away some rando, He was like pulling on them really tightly. And I feel bad, because I'm a gentleman. I kind of just, I kind of grabbed him by the shoulder, and I was like, yo, you better chill the fuck out, bro. And he was like, with his scared eyes or something. Like he never been in a fight before. He doesn't look like it. And well, he just looked at me, and I was like, yo, calm the fuck down. And he was like, all right, cool. And so we sat him down, me and Kathleen, and he was just like freaking out for no reason. Then I realized that this kid ain't freaking out for no reason. He bared his fangs at us, and I was like, yo, stop that shit. And I covered his mouth, and all of a sudden he bit me. Like, this motherfucker bit me. He started drinking my blood. Like, what the fuck is that? Like cannibalism shit. And I was like, okay, this dude ain't normal. So I was like, yo, back the fuck off. I pushed him to the wall, and he's kind of flimsy. So I don't know if I kind of broke his ribs or something. I probably did, but I was there to Kathleen kind of, helped him out, and we brought him here.
What kind of person was he?
Colin was pretty tight, he used to do a lot of drugs like me. Oh, don't tell Miss Stewart that.
Oh, no, of course not. Where can...
That kid used to be like a big stoner. Like a big stoner.
Where can... You have a supplier?
Shit, if that's the way you roll, girl. If you got the dough, I got the dough. I got the greens.
If you can connect me to a supplier. Unless you are the supplier.
Oh, fuck no. Miss Stewart's gonna... She'll have me torped if I fucking got caught with that shit. But if you want to party, maybe I'll take you some time. Maybe this weekend, huh? Oh, next weekend, actually. It's like Saturday.
Of course. That party place, do you have an address for that?
Oh, I see your games now. I see. You you a snitch, aren't you?
Me? Do I look like a snitch to you?
Man, you killing my... I'm losing wood over here. Shit, fuck this. And he kind of puts his shirt back on.
Hey.
Kind of starts buttoning it up.
I like trying to
yo,
stop
girl.
you, like... Come on, babe.
What?
Don't be like that.
Girl, I see your game now.
Listen, I just got here and there's no way for me to party. Nobody invites me. I heard the Teen Bloods can, well, party well. Help out a girl here.
He smacks his lips once again as he kind of rubs his hands together. Fine. Tomorrow night, me and Kathleen are going out, along with some other kids. Come along.
Alright. I'll see.
Kind of he buttons up his shirt once again and just turns on his heels, a bit frustrated, realizing that you're just, trying to manipulate him. He kind of just walks out of the room.
Come by sometime. And then I wink at him.
He eyes you suspiciously, but he nods and walks out. Meanwhile, Mordecai and Toledo, you guys are still with Miss Stewart. What are you guys doing?
If it's all right with you, Miss Stewart, there's a ritual I'd like to perform.
Investigate.
Will allow me to see where Colin's been.
Okay.
I assume we'll be out of your school, then we'll be out of your hair.
Miss Stewart nods her head as she says, "If it is for his sake, I will allow it."
Thank you. I want to start doing stuff in front of you without your permission. This is your domain, after all. I'll take the hollowed out Bible, open it up, and take out just this bundled up little bit of white satin ribbon, setting it down, unfurling it. Glance to, I don't know if she's sticking around or if she left, but I'll
She's just there.
turn to Mordecai at least and say, this upsets some kindred, just warning you, and I'll pull out this silver lighter that I'll flip up and you're gonna light this thing. Cover your eyes if you need to.
Meanwhile, while he's performing his ritual, as it takes a few minutes to do so, Mordecai, what is it you're doing at the moment?
Definitely not looking at the light.
Have to make a frenzy roll. Yeah. What do you the
Focusing
last
on
thing
the
you
box.
notice? Yeah. You notice that little cubby, that little tiny dresser has a faint silvery red glow to it.
Is it the same silvery red that was all over the statue? Oh. Fascinating. Let's check out the little box.
Okay. Do you open up the dresser and whatnot, or
Yeah.
as you pull open this little wooden dresser, you would notice that it seems to be locked, because you notice there's a little keyhole there, and as you try to pull it, there's a bit of a resistance there, indicating that you might need a key to open it, or you just need to open it by brute force.
Oh. Brute force I do not have. Let's see.
You try to picklock it if you have any larceny.
We could ask Toledo.
Don't remember if I have any larceny. I have a small amount of larceny, but I don't trust the fact that I would be able to do so.
Try.
Toledo. Pardon the interruption.
Yes.
Two things. Please close the lighter.
Close it.
Secondly, what do you make of this dresser? There's something inside. It is glowing. It has an aura, the same intensity and tone of silver and red that the statue did when our young friend landed on it. So there's something connecting, and it's in this dresser.
Oh.
That is locked, however, and I lack the strength or skill set to be able to open it properly. Have you seen a key?
Yeah, I actually got one right here, and I'll just pull the knife and see if I can't put it in and just like use it as like a lever and just kind of break the drawer
okay.
open.
Ooh, okay. So let's go ahead and use not larceny in this moment as you're brute forcing it. Go ahead and roll your wits and melee. With 2 successes, you're able to, using your knife, you're able to kind of pull it open. It kind of, the knife kind of, metal kind of snaps in kind of a loud fashion, makes a loud noise, but as you yank it, the lock kind of comes off as well. And the mechanism breaks as this drawer kind of like pulls open itself, revealing a bunch of what seems to be clothing and whatnot inside. It's all a jumbled mess. None of them are neatly folded whatsoever.
It's normal to
shares the
me.
aura?
I'll just start pulling stuff out of the drawer, toss it. I mean, room's a mess anyway. A few extra clothes on the floor won't.
Okay. As you start pulling things out, some random shirts, some dirty underwear and whatnot, you would begin to notice that perhaps something is being hidden here. And as you try to start pulling everything out, at the very bottom, you would see just a small vial. A small vial that contains a sort of dust or fine grain powder. You can't tell what it is, but it does seem to emanate a bit of magic from it. For lack of a better word, Mordecai, you definitely see that this is where the silvery red aura is coming from. The dust itself, this fine powder, it's the color of salt, but it's not salt. You can easily tell it's not salt.
Fascinating.
Dust. I'll hand it to Mordecai. If it was blood, I could probably figure it out, but not sure what that is.
Scarlet,
What do I make of it?
as Mordecai kind of looks at this vial, this is when you walk in.
I'm still not entering the room. This is
okay.
too.
You just
I'm
watch it
just
from the
yeah.
Miss Stewart. Okay, Mordecai, you go ahead and roll your intelligence and occult. Toledo, you can roll too if you wish. But let's see if you guys recognize what this is.
Not so good.
Mm,
One success, Mordecai.
is that cocaine?
Right there. With 3 successes, Toledo, you can tell that this is an ingredient of some sort. You don't know what it is, as you with the rituals you're familiar with, you don't know what it is, but you can tell that perhaps this might be used for some sort of ritual. You can also tell if you kind of pop open the cap of the vial and kind of smell it. It smells. There's a hint of maybe vitae.
Well, that would explain why it was spread all over the statue.
I wonder. I'll take just a little bit of it on my finger. If it has just a hint of vitae, maybe taste of blood will work on it. I'm gonna try it out. Take a small taste of it.
Okay. Roll your resolve and composure, please.
I don't know.
Oh. Why is he taking cocaine?
Rub it on your gums.
With 2 successes, you barely manage to keep it together. As the moment you taste this pile, or this salt-like crystals, you feel as if it is blood, but not really. It is vitae of a kindred, but not at the same time. You cannot You can't tell what this feeling is, but you stop yourself from taking more to find out what it is, what it actually is, as the taste is rather sweet but bitter. It is salty but umami at the same time. There's just something about it that perhaps might draw someone like you, or maybe someone like them, Twin Bloods, to take whatever this drug-like crystal is.
That's interesting. Oh, got a bit of a kick to it too. Old guy like Colin was doing this, ain't no good. But this is a piece to a bigger puzzle. Good eye there, Mordecai. I'll pocket it. Definitely keep your peepers open though for more auras like this. See if we can find some of the other ingredients. And I will continue on with my ritual.
Right, I'm leaving the room then.
And I'm like gesturing towards Mordecai, like.
Okay. As Toledo continues his ritual, illuminating the trail of prey, Scarlet and Mordecai, you find yourself outside with Miss Stewart, who just seems to be observing everything. Her hands are on her chin, and she's just carefully watching what Toledo is doing.
Can we talk privately away from Miss Stewart?
Miss Stewart, excuse us. Yeah, I go with her wherever she goes.
Somewhere out of earshot, most likely. Where the fuck would I go? I don't want to bring you to my room. I already brought one. Chester.
You've already seen my room. Whatever.
Fine, we're going to my room.
I need my latex back.
Yes. I will give you the outfit back. So we're going to my room. And then as we enter, I quickly close it behind so that I don't want Brian to see this. Okay. The moment the door closes, I go like, here's the deal. I talked to a Thin Blood, the duskborne, Chester, the annoying, talkative guy from earlier. Apparently, all the duskborns are doing some kind of party together every weekend. And that's how they found Colin. And, well, they're doing drugs together.
That checks out.
Yeah, so Chester,
Considering what we just found.
What did you found? Is it cocaine?
Drugs.
Oh.
Not just any drugs, though, which is the concerning thing. Is there any way that you can find out how many of them are, how connected this drug thing might be for the school?
I can try, but Chester is a bit suspicious of me now being a snitch. But we will be going to a party tomorrow. So maybe you guys can follow or something. He's bringing me to his supplier and to the party.
Did I see the reaction that Toledo had when he took? Yes, don't touch it.
I did not hide it.
Do not touch or take the drugs.
Why?
It would be bad. If I noticed the aura surrounding the drugs when we found it is identical to the aura that was left by Colin's residue on the statue. He had it in his system, and if had anything to do with his lapse in judgment.
Is that why he was running really fast?
Quite possibly. sort of an artificial. You know what? That's an actually interesting, a very good point.
What is?
But if it is, what if it is why he was running fast? What if someone has found a way to master marrying vitae of the kindred with some sort of illegal narcotic that enhances abilities? What would happen if this same individual took vitae and added it to PCP? Or perhaps this is actually cocaine or angel dust of one of those street drugs that has been enhanced somehow. And then if the thin bloods get it, it's doubly addictive because it shares not only an actual narcotic, but the blood of actual kindred.
Is it?
This is bad.
If it is the blood of another kindred, does that mean that they're like drinking from that kindred?
I don't know that part, but that makes sense. So theoretically, whoever is distributing this drug is blood bonding a lot of people.
Is Toledo gonna be blood bonded?
We can watch him, warn him. But I'm pretty sure Toledo can take care of himself. In fact, if nothing else, we can use him as a watchdog. And basically, suddenly, if he finds his way to looking at someone in a rather infatuated way, we know we are a target.
I don't think I can stop Toledo from doing anything.
No, not at all. Neither can I. But we'll know who we have to take down.
Okay. So you guys are following tomorrow night?
Oh, probably.
Okay.
I don't think us fuddy-duddies would be of any welcome in a kindred rave.
Yeah, you guys are too old.
Of young bloods. But we'll be there.
I take the latex and then hand it to him, but I am keeping the fur coat. As you can see, my haven is not really fit for a toreador.
Keep the latex. I'm willing to bet Annabelle would approve.
Take it back then. I don't want any of my other classmates seeing you exit my room. Can you do it?
Very well. Cloak of Shadows. Oh no, I can't. Sorry, I have to be stationary for that. Sorry, can't do that. Maybe you go out first and make sure there's no one in the hall.
Fine. I go out.
Okay. Meanwhile, Toledo, did you make a roll? Do you need to roll for Illuminate the Trail play?
I do. I was waiting to make sure nothing happened before. So let me do my routine.
Loud crash comes through the door. Scarlet in her latex.
I am not wearing that latex. I'm wearing normal clothes. With the fur coat, of course. I like fur.
So I get hunger, of course. 3, which is a level 2 discipline, so it is successful.
Success. Okay. And as you light up that satin sheet with your lighter and it begins to glow brightly as it burns and whatnot, you would see this silvery red string form at the very top of it. It's almost as if you can touch it and hold it, but it's not solid. It is only something that you can see. You've done this before and you recognize it, but what's strange is that it's usually red, this color, this string to you, but it is silver in this very moment. And it leads out towards the outside of dormitory, and if you follow it, it leads even further out onto the outside of the academy itself, and you might need a vehicle to follow it. And I believe this is active for 24 hours after the ritual has been cast. Or I need to double check, but let's just say it does. It is. You can follow it. It is available to you.
It remains visible for the rest of the night. Actually, let me. If I get a critical, it lasts another night. So I may use a willpower. If that's okay.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
I think DC is 2 or 3. Can't remember off the top of my head. But if you score more than that,
Well, if I get a critical, yeah, it lasts longer, which would be useful since this night's almost over.
it's around 3:30 right now. Okay, with 5 successes, yeah. Let's say that it will last you until the next night.
Okay, cool.
At least until midnight of the next night. Giving you plenty of time to work along with it. But yeah, you see this silvery, thin string that kind of just leads out into the outside of the Stuart Freeman Academy, and perhaps leads you to the southern district of Chicago. Okay, as you start following this trail, you would notice Scarlet and Mordecai emerge from their bedroom, her bedroom.
I got the scent. If you'll follow me, we'll probably need a vehicle where we're going.
Done.
Is there enough time for this?
Yeah, we should use every opportunity we can just in case. I'd like to get the
Nothing
trail
else?
while it's still warm.
Okay.
If nothing else, we find out where we need to go tomorrow.
True. A warning, though. The trail's something's off. You mentioned an aura, a red, silver. A bit of that silver taint is on this trail too, so I don't have the best feeling about it. So keep your heads on a swivel.
Okay.
Reconnaissance it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Up to Carl, give him directions as I follow it.
Okay. And are you guys planning to? Well, we'll find out through the story. But yeah, you follow this trail from the Stuart Freeman Academy down to the southern district of Chicago. I'll show up on the map here. I'm sure audience can see it.
As we're driving there or riding there, I catch up Toledo about what I knew from Chester. Ruining my
Yeah, no.
reputation for this.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's putting your reputation at risk, and that's a big deal in someone in your position. Thank you. That's really good information. That's information I don't know if Chester would have told a couple of weird priests. Say.
I might have promised him something.
Domino probably would have torn his arms off.
True. Promises are made to be broken. You'll be all right. This party it's next week or the next night. I don't remember.
It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We can be there observing, or at least I can. I don't know about you, Mordecai.
I can stand unseen.
Good enough. We'll be
Although,
your unseen
technically speaking-
chaperones.
Technically speaking, if I have such a reputation among the young here,
They would
I might actually
probably
just be a welcome
you.
addition.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chester seemed to like you. That Chester guy seems pretty cool, actually. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, let's put it at that.
You two would kind of make a cute thing.
Okay. As you guys kind of talk amongst yourself, I need all three of you to roll your wits and awareness or wits and investigation. Only one.
I'm useless at this thing.
Roll so many dice.
Okay. Scarlet, you're a little perturbed by the recent happenings of the evening, and maybe just talking about Chester distracts you too much from whatever's going on, and you don't have anything else to add to, whatever they're investigating. Toledo, as you perhaps lead the way, perhaps telling the driver where to go and where not to go, you would come across this place up on the screen. It seems to be a dilapidated house, or abandoned house itself. It's maybe located on the outskirts, suburbs of downtown Chicago, south side of Chicago. The roof is kind of worn out. This 2-story house itself, some of the glass, the windows are broken and boarded up, and some of the stone, the mossy areas of this place is unnaturally, I guess, outgrown, to say the least. It looks like nobody has cut the lawn in a long time, and it's just, the place is creepy, to say the least. But let me ask all three of you this: do you stop here, or do you continue to follow the trail?
The trail leads into the house, I assume.
Trail leads into the house, and then it kind of winds away from it as it kind of goes inside, and you see it pop out through the other door on the other side of the house, and it kind of continues along somewhere else.
It goes through the house.
Mm-hmm. Without a roll, you can probably tell that the
like-
trail went inside. Colin probably went inside.
This was a stop you made. I can check things out all sneaky like, if you two want to wait
Sense the
here.
unseen.
But if you want to step inside, that's fine too. Actually, let me scope it out, make sure no one's inside, and if no one is, I'll bring you two so you can do your thing. It work?
You would note that
This place
it is
looks
around
obviously haunted.
4 o'clock. So that gives you like an hour and a half to maybe do your thing.
This place looks obviously haunted.
It doesn't look obviously haunted, but it does look dilapidated and abandoned.
Be careful.
It's a drug
Likely
house.
not alone.
I've seen drug houses like this.
So yeah, I'll quickly, since we don't have a lot of time, Toledo's just gonna hop his silence to death, unseen passage.
Nice. You passed that rouse check, okay.
I don't know.
As you move out of eyesight from your coterie members, you kind of just disappear, blending into whatever background you have, as obfuscate does not cloak you in shadows. It pretty much just allows you to blend into whatever it is around you, and he becomes invisible.
That is a cool trick. Need to learn that.
Sense the unseen, Mordecai. You don't seem to notice anything strange here, but you do notice the faint silhouette of Toledo as he approaches the place. Toledo, what exactly are you trying to do? You're just gonna go in, check the place out, scope it out?
Yeah.
Okay. You can re-roll your investigation and your awareness. You can add a +2 to this.
I'm gonna blood surge as well.
I'm a little hungrier.
It's an investigation, intelligence or wits?
Either one.
Oh, okay. Set at a +2.
Okay, with your 5 successes, you follow that trail, and it allows you to see where Colin went exactly. You walk up to the steps, you perhaps take a peek of what's going on inside. You see that the door is kind of barred itself, and the window next to it, you can tell that there is no glass. It's just boarded up with perhaps plywood or something, and it is it seems like it's well protected, at least from the sunlight. You walk around the building itself unseen, and you notice that most of these windows are same, with or without glass. It's just they're all boarded up. As you walk around, you would notice as well that the backyard is desolate itself. There's absolutely nothing here apart from the fact that there is some fencing that does not allow entry unless you, of course, jump over it or break into. As you are kindred, so I assume using a bit of your strength, you kind of prop up on top of the wall, the fencing itself, and you look over and you see that there are plants on the ground, marijuana plants. They seem to be around 4 or 5 feet tall, very tall, and they're kind of bushy, and they're very, very spread out. It's almost as if it's ripe for the picking. If you were, well, you've been in prison, so I imagine you have a bit of knowledge with, drugs, organic. But other than that, if you want to keep investigating further, you have to go inside. You can tell with your 5-6, I'll give you this. There seems to be nobody at home. There's no lights or anything.
Okay. Yeah. The other two will just hear, sort of whispered at them, "It's all yours. No one inside."
They can't hear you because you have silence of death.
Yeah, that's I dropping Silence of Death,
Okay.
so I could say that because Silence of Death is free, so I could.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to pick on you. But yeah. All right, so you just go inside.
What did Toledo say?
It's all yours. So, for Scarlet and Mordecai, as you guys are perhaps sitting inside the limousine with the windows rolled down, perhaps observe what's going on, you would hear those words come out from nowhere, but you could tell that it is his voice. But what did the both of you do? Do you follow suit and maybe break in, or do you remain in the car?
Yeah. I'd probably make a lot of noise, but I will try to be as stealthy as I can. Trying to find another way in. Or easier way in. No.
So Toledo would have just head for the front door. If he was confident no one was home, we just need to tear through this place quickly.
Mordecai, is Toledo like a hunting dog or?
He's determined.
Okay.
So we get out of the car,
Go out of the
And
car.
Larceny and Toledo.
have the car pull around to the other side of the building. And then we'll just...
I'll just enter the front door.
Okay. As the both of you kind of peel away from the car, you would go inside you would see Toledo on the front porch of this place. He seems to be picking the lock.
What was the roll?
Wits and larceny.
Do we just see like a floating lockpick?
No, he's broken out.
Okay,
He's interacting with objects.
I'm blood surging again.
Nice. What hunger are you at?
I'm bleeding again.
Oh no.
Mordecai, do you have any blood bag in your limousine or? Wow.
All of that for
For one success.
All right, with one success.
and it's all hunger, so I can't re-roll it either.
You, Mordecai and Scarlet, the moment you notice Toledo kind of like fiddling around with his lock-picking tools and whatnot with the doorknob, you would notice that he is bleeding profusely from his forehead as well as his wrists and his ankles,
Can I try to
covered in blood again.
just kick down the door?
Okay, you're just gonna break into. Okay, go ahead and roll your strength and brawl.
I'm gonna rouse blood surge to my strength.
believe that gives you +2 die. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it does. Yeah, yeah. God. Okay. With 4 successes, you try to kick it down, Scarlet, and with a bit of force, you do manage to put your foot through the wooden door, but it doesn't give way. It kind of hurts you in this moment as you put your foot through and you take 1 superficial damage.
Ow.
But as you get scratched up and whatnot, you pull your foot out. I imagine you're wearing like heels or boots or something, and you would notice that you're all scratched up on your ankles and your foot as well. But the door does not, it doesn't.
Can't you just kick it down, Toledo? I already started.
Actually, that was a pretty damn good kick. Yeah, let's kick this thing down. Yeah, lockpick shit. That's not my. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go to just boot the door too.
Yeah, and you may need to drink something. You're bleeding again. All over.
Yeah, that's why the lockpicks were slipping on me.
So you're just gonna brute force this. I need 5 successes in total. So if you're gonna brute force this thing down, you can.
Can we try it together?
Holy crap! Yeah, with 3. Is that a messy crit? Oh no! Oh no! I need you to make a frenzy roll.
Oh.
I need you to make a frenzy roll.
Frenzy. Good thing I've spent a lot of willpower, so I only have 2 dice on this.
Oh no! Oh god!
Mr. Mordecai, do you have blood bags in
Okay.
your limousine?
Just the Banu Hakim.
Oh,
Nothing goes
God.
wrong when I.
No.
The door's down at least.
As you muster all of your strength, Toledo, you punch through. You don't actually punch through. You use your whole body. You body this whole door itself, and you crash against it with a disgusting, like, loud thud. And all the splinters, all the wood, kind of go everywhere in this moment. As all of the both of you notice this, and he is now covered in not only blood but wood splinters as well as debris and all sorts of things. As he turns around at both of you, you see his eyes go wild. He's hunched over a little bit. He's snarling in this moment. And I'd like to ask you, Toledo, would you like to ride the wave, or would you just leave it up to the storyteller?
I've seen that look. I've seen that look before. That is not a nice look.
I'll leave this to you, Lou.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the honor of taking over the first hunger frenzy of your game.
God, okay. Scarlet and Mordecai, I'm gonna give you a turn to react before Toledo lunges at either of you. His fangs are popped. He is hunched over like an animal. Well, if he had claws, they'll be sprouting out right now, and he seems to be taking a stance that, well, is readying himself for combat.
Where's our Bruja when we need him?
Right.
Oh,
How do the two of you react to this?
I try to put as much distance between me and him as possible because I've seen that look. I've seen that in the Bruja.
Okay, so you're running away. Mordecai, what are you doing?
Can I try to run away inside? Oh
You
no.
run away. Well, he's standing in front of the door. Like, he's, instead of going inside, you guys are now being pushed out by this frenzying Banu Hakim. Mordecai, you know well enough that Banu Hakim are notorious for having difficulty resisting diablerie. So one of you is gonna get eaten tonight, and you have very little options here. Scarlet has turned on her heels and is starting to run away. What do you do, Mordecai?
I've seen that look. I am not messing around with another frenzy.
Feed me.
Can we try to torture him?
Would entrancement cause him to, I don't know, resist a diablerie because he likes you?
When you're frenzying, the beast doesn't really care if you like someone or not.
So would entrancement even work?
You can try, but I believe mental disciplines, anyone who's frenzying get a +3 bonus against mental disciplines.
Oh. Well, it's worth a shot.
Oh god, okay. Scarlet, Dex and Athletics. Mordecai, let's see that. Roll your charisma and discipline. Toledo, can you go? Please roll.
Can I dump willpower into it?
If let's see your roll first. You can rouse the blood to increase it. Toledo, roll wits and composure +3.
Watch this be the one time. Oh, thank God! I still roll bad. That's good.
Okay, with 4 successes as you release your entrancement, your presence upon this frenzying kindred, the beast, wild in the moment, kind of tilts its head at you and snarls once again as it lunges forth. Toledo, go ahead and roll your strength and brawl, please, as you try to grapple Mordecai.
Can I try
Actually,
to help him grapple down Toledo?
Mordecai, if you'd like to dodge this, go ahead and roll your dexterity and your athletics. I'll give you a +2. I'll give you a +2 for this. Well, Scarlet, what did you say?
Can I, if I see that Mordecai is being attacked, can I try to grapple Toledo?
Sure.
I only rolled 1 success, so lucky for you, the gods hate me no matter what happens. So.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. As Toledo, this frenzying kindred, lunges forth, takes off from where he's standing. He barely misses as you sidestep out of the way, Mordecai, and he crashes onto the ground in front of you. Scarlet, as you see this all happening, you turn on your heel as you muster that courage to face a frenzying Toledo, and you lunge after him and you grapple him by the under the arms, and you kind of hold him from behind like so. Top of the turn. Actually, no, Scarlet took her turn. Mordecai, what do you do? You know that he is frenzying right now. There is no rationale within this individual. He will try to eat anyone.
Feed him
Pull out my Glock.
something.
Can I spend
right
a
in his
point
forehead.
of willpower to have control for a turn?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So using
Yeah,
a
don't
shooting-
miss. Don't miss. You
All right, let's see that dexterity and firearms roll, or composure and firearms, whichever one. I imagine you're carrying.
Composure is
a
way
heavy
better.
duty- I imagine you're carrying a heavy-duty firearm, like a Desert Eagle or something.
What the fuck? You had a
You're
gun?
rich. Or a Magnum, whichever you carry.
Any modifiers?
No, not in this moment.
Okay.
Toledo, if you'd like to spend a willpower,
Ooh, I'm gonna spend a willpower.
please reroll up to 3 dice. Toledo, if you spend a willpower, you'd come to just in time for you see him lower the gun at your face and shoot. What do you do? You're being grappled right now.
Yeah.
Is he putting it like right up to my head? Is it possible to try to move my head, or is my taking the shot?
You can dodge it.
I'll do my best to.
Try to break away from the grapple and dodge it. So I need 2 rolls from you. I need a strength and brawl resistance roll for Scarlet's grapple, and then Dex and athletics. Scarlet,
If I see
Strength
that, can
and
I
brawl.
just try to?
yeah, you can let go.
Let
If
go.
you let go. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so no need
it's-
for the grapple rolls. Just Dex and athletics, both of you.
I knew I will do a lot of dodging in this fucking game.
2 successes. 2 successes. Oh, that's 3 successes, Mordecai. Okay. Oh, with a margin of 1, you pull the trigger, and as they kind of break away from the grapple, you almost miss. Toledo, but you pull that trigger and a shot rings out and you hit him right on his shoulder as he takes 1 for 2 superficial damage total. Toledo. Still frenzied.
Stay down.
Yeah, getting shot probably help rattle me a second. I'll spend a point of willpower to take control for just a turn. Just look. Food. Idiots. And are we assuming people live in this neighborhood-ish somewhere?
It is desolate out here. As I mentioned,
Can we
up and
drink
down the
the
streets, it's all empty houses. and
limousine
whatnot.
driver?
It's dark. There's a limousine
Yeah,
driver.
there is a driver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking around, I'll just say,
go
I'll look
eat the
towards the
driver.
limo.
You kill him, I will destroy you.
Just it's
Yeah,
better than being eaten by a van.
she's let me go, and I'll just get up and I'm taking off after just running up to the car.
Well, since he's going and we probably woke up everyone in this place, I'm gonna look around inside.
Okay, so you're gonna stick around while the neighborhood wakes up. From
Yeah,
the
no.
gunshot.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
We're leaving.
I'm following Toledo.
Okay, he's frenzying and he's running after. He's gonna go for the limousine driver. You both know this. So you're just gonna go for the kill. You're gonna drain him dry, of course. While the two of you kind of just get in the vehicle, or what do you do? Do you try to cover this up or in any way whatsoever?
Yeah, is
or
it possible to stop him from drying the driver?
Frenzying does not stop unless it's been satiated. A hunger frenzy, I mean. You can't force someone to stop hunger frenzy. Once you
Well,
dominate
well,
them.
One.
Did he drag
And for
the
me to go to
driver
Hunger
outside,
One would
or
have to kill him.
did he drag the driver outside, or?
Okay, so what happened? Well, I just need to know what you guys are gonna do.
I'm gonna
but
try
yeah.
and turn to Mordecai. Like, can you drive us away from here? The police will probably come with your stupid gun.
Okay. Here's what happens as Toledo kind of spends a point of willpower. He dashes towards the nearest mortal around, which is the limousine driver. He leaves the two of you behind and he just dives into the limousine itself and he grabs the driver from behind as he pulls him inside the seating area, and he starts ripping apart his neck and draining all the blood out. He doesn't even politely drink him away. Like a Capri Sun, he rips him to shreds as the two of you approach the limousine and see what's happening inside. Visceral entrails and all that are being spread around while he bathes himself in blood as he gorges himself with all the fresh human vitae.
Oh my! Is there any way
Well,
to cover
Toledo,
this
you can take down your hunger to 0.
Mordecai.
Take me like 3 turns to get that back up. I mean, nice.
Scarlet and Mordecai, what do you guys
Well,
do?
there's nothing we can do until he gets out of the driver's seat.
No, the entrails are all over the ground now. This
Oh
is
no,
going.
it's all inside the limousine.
Inside the car.
Inside the car.
He went and he dove inside the limousine. I imagine that's what he did as he spent a
Well,
willpower.
you can drive us away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait for him to finish.
Is he done then? No.
Mechanically, it takes like a few turns to drain an individual dry.
I
but
mean,
we'll
we can
fast forward.
probably drive while he's drinking. Away
Who-
from the scene.
all I
While
know,
the
all I
driver's
want to
in the
know
driver's
is
seat?
who's going to be on the driver's seat. No, the driver isn't in the driver's seat. He's inside where the passengers are.
Yeah,
And he's just ripping him to shreds there.
Pulled him into the passenger area and began
Yeah,
feasting.
so the front seat is probably clean enough for us to climb
There's some
into.
splatters of blood and
Yeah, the bit of
entrails, but-
yeah.
Drive.
Mordecai,
I guess.
please. Yeah, okay.
Who's driving? Mordecai's driving.
Mordecai is driving. I am sitting beside him. I assume there is a seat. No?
Yeah,
Yeah?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I am not going to the back seat where the viscera
As you-
is happening.
As you guys kind of drive away, perhaps try to drown out the guttural noises from the back, the wild animal noises, and the screaming from the driver. We play the music, and the kind of everything locks, and you guys drive away. And I imagine you guys are going back to your haven, Mordecai, as that's the only place you can go to at the moment. Do you drop Scarlet
The only
off?
place I know. Do you want to be dropped off?
It's Sunday tomorrow. You don't have class.
Yeah, but there's that party.
No, we can come back.
I guess okay.
Okay. Toledo, as you've satiated your hunger, you come to realizing, as you open your eyes, that your hands, your arms, your face, your clothes are all covered in blood and intestines.
Wow.
Beast
I'm,
is satisfied.
I turn towards.
Well, Mordecai, you've been around long enough.
Lock the
Know that
passenger
everyone-
doors. Roll up the window in between the front seat and the back and make sure that's closed.
So is that what happens when the frenzy?
That is a frenzy.
Yeah,
That is when the
I've-
hunger takes control.
I've seen that, but when the beast
That
took
is
over my
dangerous.
friend is just anger. That is new to me.
Oh, that's a different frenzy.
Oh.
I'm assuming there's like the button to talk to the driver, right? Just hit the button and be like, you've been around long enough to know that shit happens sometimes. I'll just say an address of where to drop me off.
I don't really want to be alone in Mordecai's place.
I'll drop you off. It's fine.
Yeah.
It is a thing. So we'll
Just
pull up
drop me off.
to Toledo's first. Get out of the car, open up the door, lock eyes with him, make peace with your God. If you do that again, I will destroy you.
I offered
You
you
have
an
taken
apology.
what was mine.
The beast took what was yours. You got a
I
problem.
don't care. Get
Pick it up
control
with
of your
that.
beast.
It happens
You
sometimes.
need to have more control. It doesn't happen.
You need to have more
sometimes.
control. It does happen sometimes. I'm sure it's happened to you too. You've been around long enough, it's gonna happen. I don't need a whole
Stop.
song and dance.
Can you guys please? Can we not?
Do it again.
Mr. Mordecai, please.
And I will end you.
You know what I am and what I do, right? That doesn't scare me. I would destroy you if it came to blows. There's no reason to get this upset about it, bud. It was just
You owe me a ghoul.
I would owe you, Ghoul, but you pointed that gun in my face, so me not retaliating, we're even. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, is that how it works?
No, that's not how it works.
Oh.
Good?
No, we're not good. You destroyed my property. Because the beast. Because you have no control. Yes.
I'm not going to be
control.
lectured by you, Mordecai. Yeah, I slipped up. Again, if you've been around long enough,
Again.
you've seen it a million times.
Yes, you've slipped up again.
No, this was the first
We can't
time.
afford to have you slipping up. Our heads are all on a pike here, and we don't need you wandering around like some savage. Get your shit together. Good night.
Okay. Again, I killed your ghoul, so I'm letting all of this slide. Let's have a nice reset tomorrow. I'll be losing a lot more than a ghoul. I'll head towards my church.
I imagine you've popped unseen passage, not to be seen by all the individuals. You're like coated in blood. No need to roll, but this is very in character anyway. Okay. You retreat for the evening and perhaps take a rest after cleaning up. Mordecai and
Yes.
Scarlet. Is there any other last conversation to be had between the two of you before we end this night?
Not unless, I don't know. Does that happen often?
It shouldn't. But in younger kindred who have no control,
Is he younger kindred?
it
like
tends
me?
to. Who's to say? He swaggers like he's older. But he has no control. Be careful of him.
Okay.
They aren't known for their subtlety, and they are known to be far more addicted to kindred blood than most.
Oh, like drinking from kindred, or what is
Yes.
his clan again?
He's the Benu Hakim.
Banu Hakim. And yours?
Yeah.
What is your clan?
I am a follower of Set. I belong to the ministry.
Ministry. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good night, Scarlet.
I will see you tomorrow.
We're going to a party.
I'm going to the party. You will stay in the shadows.
That's where I do my best work.
Okay.
Get in the car,
See-
drive away.
Yeah, we see Scarlet take her leave from the vehicle as she enters the Stewart Freeman Academy, and Mordecai drive off with a rather bloodied up inside of a limousine and a bit of frustration in his eyes as he just lost his driver, as well as now has an eviscerated sort of body behind him in the driver's seat, and all the blood, the carcasses, like parts are all over the place. And just as we end this night, how does Mordecai feel at the moment?
Really, really irritated. Really, I mean, there wasn't. It's more like you broke my toy. And Mordecai really likes his toys. He sort of has his own little world, his own little thing. Everything is in its place because he's meticulously placed it there. And so when his things are moved, or when you knock one of his precious little china pieces off the counter, you break it. It's kind of irritating. So he gets on the phone. Alexandria, yes. And he gives the address of the church that he dropped Polito down. Find out every piece of information you can about this place.
Yes, sir.
Who owns it?
Other line.
How long they've owned it? What church it is? What religion it claims to be? Everything.
Understood. On that note, we end this night as well as this session.
That was great.
Good old frenzies.
Lindsay.
UI!
So,
Fucking, I had to seduce
Sweating.
Chester. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I still
that was
owe him
great.
something.
yeah, you owe him something now. He gave you valuable information.
Don't
Oy,
worry.
oy, oy.
If we had like enough time, I would have done it tonight. But it's already early
Oh
morning.
yeah. You already had the body latex suit going on for you, so.
No!
But
Right.
yeah, that was fun, guys. Thank to all those tuning in. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and hope to catch you guys next week.
All
Once
right.
again, my name is Louis. I'm your storyteller. You can find me on Crescent's VTM on Twitter. Storytelling for these wonderful people.
Mike?
Oh, me? Sorry. Yep, I'm Mike. I was playing Mordecai. You can catch my cosplay adventures, or at least the stuff before COVID, at Canadian Captain America, all over Twitter, all over Facebook, all over Instagram. You can catch me tomorrow night playing a lightning sorcerer in the... I don't remember the name, sorry. Dead Reckoning, D&D game, D&D stream on the Vampire or the Vancouver by Night channel, and look for other stuff to come soon. Can't tell anything until I figure it out myself.
I am Bully. I'm the storyteller over at Table Goth. Keep an eye out for I'm doing No Kindred Hungry, a charity's stream I started with other storytellers. We have Shane Easton and Alexander Ward with us for the next one. Shane doing her very first time storytelling, and she does an excellent job. So definitely check that out. I also play in London by Gaslight, a Victorian Age chronicle over at Table of Horrors, and Cultural Blood Gods. We're starting at the end of the month. And I'll be playing some games for the community for the virtual horror con over at Gehenna Gaming. So if you want to sign up, play some games that I'm running, a little bit of Vampire, a little bit of Call of Cthulhu, keep an eye out for that. It should go live in a couple of weeks, I believe.
All right. And I am Scarlet Leon, being played by Rena. As always, I am your overlord. I've got a show every Saturday or Sunday in the Philippines. Midnights in Metro Manila, where things are getting a little bit spicy. Being blood married and all that. It's gonna be horrible. But yeah, I've got this one and that one, and well, there's gonna be a charity stream soon, but we will announce it later on. Not sure if you guys want to be part of it or not. We're still looking for one more player to be playing a Camarilla. Well, yeah, so that said, this has been Call of the Abyss. We'll see you guys next week. Bye!